Hello, folks. Welcome back once again to Worlds Upon the Wind, where we're still working on the Reunification ritual quest. We need to get the Endless Blossoms, the Ghost Lanterns, and the Eternal Glade all on the same shard and then survive 2 full phases. Hopefully, we'll manage to get that done. The survive 2 phases is still something I have not accomplished yet so far this playthrough. I'm confident we'll get there though. And I did have a quick look through the shard cultures too, because there's not one associated with this quest. We kind of want to be aiming for ones to complete along the way. And I have, at this precise moment, pinned the migratory circuit, so at least 3 settlements in desert or wasteland, at least 3 in forest or plains, and every settlement connected. That last one is kind of the big problem. And I'm not certain we'll actually get this even if we work towards it, but there are a couple of other shard cultures which also require you to build in wastelands. I'm thinking, Land of Bottled Lightning, which is Storm Chaser camps in wastelands and Stormwatch Citadel, and the Wasteland Excavators, which is an endless ruin and just a bunch of wasteland settlements. So I need to keep both of those in mind, and I thought I'll just pin this to make certain, hopefully, some wasteland spawns. It might not, it might just do desert. But it gives us something vague to aim towards while we're going for the story quest. And I think we're just going to jump straight in. Got all our upgrades, signature glyphs and everything should be fine. Let's embark. Okay. So, starting relic. Dead branch, whenever you... Yeah, so this is a bad relic. This was a punishment relic we got. We're definitely not taking that one. Horsehair is good just for a lot of harmony. There is another shard culture, the Turning Society I think it's called. This one should get really high harmony and very high safety too. Tuft of Horsehair would help there. I think Odd Statuette is just weaker than Tuft of Horsehair. It generates harmony too, but less of it, so Tuft of Horsehair it is. Let's see. We do have a little bit of wasteland down here. And desert over here too. Seems like forest, plains, and the ocean in order to get our quest. There must be plains somewhere, right? Ooh, I think we might not be able to complete our reunification ritual here. Endless Blossoms in the Plains. You know what? I think I might have overburdened the train generation a bit by pinning this other quest. I don't think we have any plains biome. Oh well. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I guess we're just going to continue forwards, aim for one of these other shard cultures. I mean, we're looking for productivity to start with. Forest is not great for productivity because it penalizes other resources, which you don't have any to spare at the start, but I guess we can just start down here. The current amount we need is so low that we can get some off the mountains at least. Yeah, because we'll take a loss to harmony and beauty build up here, so we are looking to try and get the Lava Fed Forge if I can. And we do have plenty of stuff here. I don't have the craft essence. I can fill if I lock this in. And the only vent is down here on Sky Ropeways or the Eternal Glade, so I'll keep the expand just in case. We'll just spend you here. We'll use... How likely am I to draw that? Craft... I'm just thinking, you know what? Yeah, I will just use this here. This can just be burnt for the safety. It means I want to go Foraging Glade into Wildlife Sanctuary or just grab one of these minor ones here. Let's go the Foraging Glade. Yep. And we'll just use these invocations. Which one are you going to hit? Okay, Wildlife Sanctuary there. We're running a bit of a risk here about drawing this craft glyph. Something that can serve as it. We got the craft though. That is all good. See, I don't think yeah, we don't have the Radiance. And I think the other connection glyph could potentially fill that if I want to get the Eternal Glade already, but I think I'm happy just leaving that for the moment. Aye. So you go there, lava-fed forges. Let's just gain that. Discard one, draw one. There we go. Gain a bit of food too. And foray. Shikakage Mori. Mori, Dear Shadow Forest. Definitely gone that one a couple of times now, I think. Okay, Safe is a nice glyph. Change stability, spirit, pacify 2, and gain 10 safety. I mean, pacify is very nice to get, and that's just a nice set of essences on it. Adventure and knowledge. The mountains and wasteland, just keep pushing down. Reckon so. Ember Monastery event. Will we be able to meet any of the requirements for this? Not at all certain we will be. That event, Boneyard. That's an event, that's interesting. Will stop us going from the Storm Chaser camp, which we kind of wanted to go for on this. To get shard cultures. But I am very curious to see that particular event. I mean, let's just get the Smoldering Crater done. Raw discard, we'll just use you here. We'll use you there. Yep, Ember Monastery. Path to the Ember Monastery is a long one. Final approach requires more than just walking. Okay, yeah, we did have enough, just getting that one card in. So the Paper Charm is a very good relic. But we haven't seen what this one does, the spirit option. Judge the heat by the cracks in the bones. For the sake of completeness, let's see what this gives us. One settler kneels at the edge and studies the coals. Patterns emerge where heat has split the bone-flecked stones. The future may seem obscure, but there are always signs for us to read, he says, as he steps on the path. Okay, whenever you cast Divine, reveal 2 more glyphs. Okay, that's pretty decent. We have a few Divine cards, and this is a fairly substantial power boost to all Divine cards going forward. Cracks tell the future, but only if you know where to look, and look again. Okay. And now I need to decide if I'm going for the Storm Chaser camp, or just taking this event. It's all just a bit of a risk, ain't it? I reckon we'll get enough other wasteland settlements. Let's go for this Boneland event to see what it does. A young woman has taken to spending all her time at the ancient boneyard out in the wasteland. As soon as she finishes her morning chores, she arrives to wander among the bones, lost in thought, imagining the great creatures that once walked these lands. She begins sketching the giant bones and fitting fragments together. Before long, the settlers are giving her strange looks and calling her Bone Girl behind her back. Yeah. Spring Sea depicts a young woman collecting seashells onto a handkerchief. Pretty piece of work. Yeah, they've edited the shells to be bones and taken out the ocean in the background. I did kind of wonder, looking at how blank this back was. I thought this, yeah, it is a beach picking image. You can tell especially like the shape of that hill. It's very recognisable, little coastal bluff extending out into the ocean. So let's go for the top of the list here, the spirit option. Continue visiting the boneyard regardless. Unconcerned with public image, the young woman refuses to give up her visits, and they grow longer and more frequent instead. The most exciting discovery comes when she starts noticing bits of metal embedded in many of the bones. Some look like splinters, while others resemble little jagged flowers. When you lose safety, gain twice as much adventure. Interesting. Like, deliberately losing in essence is difficult to pull off. There are some swamp locations that make you lose safety. Like, getting double the adventure though is a good return, and adventure can be a bit difficult to gather in large quantities. Bleached remains of beasts whose hooves once thundered here. Just use you for that. I don't think we'll go for the Dragon's Rest, not at this point. Yep, so just gain what we can. If we use the Bless on that, we can gain a whole lot there. Yeah, look at that. Massive amount of safety. And foray. Arcamine, Red Peak, after its smouldering crater. None of these are particularly interesting. School and Run are new, but yeah, just satisfy one to draw. School, Radiance spreads Radiance. I just want to use my reroll immediately. Sure, reroll immediately. Cook. That's a Bless and a Craft and a Life, which we're all looking for. We'll take Cook. Now, Food and Beauty. Forest and Mountains. Yeah, Forest and Mountains, I reckon. Yeah, we're looking for like forest or plains here, desert or wasteland here. Yep. And now, Smoldering Crater for the event. And that'll get us all the beauty we need, and then we're just looking for food here, which is very easy to grab. Don't think we're going to need to make use of that blessing. Yep, the volcanic eruption. We've seen all the options on this one now. We can choose to gain 20 harmony by let the young guide the stranded villagers. Many of the restaurants return coughing and burned, but some of the families do not return at all. At least we got some of them out. Oh, see? And I always miss these little things. Yep, the Gaki here. This is going to eat all the food we gain until we get rid of it. So we are going to need to do that before we start trying to fulfill this. Yep, and you'll just eat a life essence, so I guess we're just using rice paddy here. Goodbye, little haunting. I don't want to use the fill because you might grab the incorrect thing. Could go earth in here. Let's just... yeah, let's just discard one at random, see what you get. Okay, bird. Life, connection. Yep, you go here, get foraging glade. Excellent, excellent. And then we have a few different options what to go with here. And you can just sit there. I think I would like to try and get the fruit grove if I can. More food. I really don't mind, just fill one at random. Okay, fruit grove it is. Good placement. Yep, you can go there. Natural hot springs, we'll head over here. Means one of these two. Let's go that one. Just gain the resources off the invocations. Fushimi, hidden spring, after its natural hot springs. Ooh, yep, thicket is nice. That's a nice invocation, it's a connection too. I am going to go for connecting every settlement up to the capital. A lot of connection cards will be handy. And which direction do we want to explore in? Right, there's no plains anywhere that are missing, are there? I really don't think so. All around the edge here, that's swamp, that's forest, swamp out to the edge. Yep. Just not getting the story progression this time. Let's head out this way. Okay, the abandoned temple. Scouts are happy to find shelter at night, especially knowing that boars and bears frequent the area. Okay, so we can get the odd statuette, more harmony, lose food, restore inspiration. There's postcards and camp outside. Yeah, let's just not camp in the temple at all, see what this last outcome gives us. Okay, 2 inspiration lost. The team decides to be extra careful and camp outside the temple. 2 of the scouts stand guard all night and spot no danger. In the morning, they can't stop complaining about foregoing sleep for no good reason. Just a little bit of inspiration loss. Deep in the forest. The survey team has found itself deep in the forest. The trees grow close here, the canopy blocking out all but a few rays of sunshine. They decide to rest for a while, but a few of the members want to make better use of their time. We can paint the trees. I'm assuming that's paint a picture of the trees rather than apply paint directly to them. Research plant life, look for local animals. Few options here. We can't do paint the trees. We do have thicket for that. I'm curious to see what this one does. It's the most expensive and we have the radiance at the moment. Let's research the plant life. Okay, plant glyph. Suppose that makes sense. One of the scholars catalogues the local plant life, recording her findings. And the good card here is Lotus, Blessing of Beauty. Adds a bloom glyph, which is not bad, to the top of the deck. And it's life and spirit. Sure, I'll take Lotus. A mudslide. Yep, the path is blocked by a mudslide across the way. So, cannot gain 20 safety. I can clear the path to see what this option does, using swim. Swim through the mud, my lads. The surveyors clear the mud slowly and methodically, careful not to trigger any further slides. Yep, so a bit less safety. Still a good outcome. As the group is walking along the edge of a ravine, they find a living tree growing on the edge, its thick bent trunk forming a bridge across to the other side. Crossing it would act as a shortcut. Some of the scouts hesitate, not trusting the tree to hold their weight. This is a cool bit of, imagery. You can see very much the tree just growing out over the ravine here. Gokano-shu in Higo Province, 1856. So if we camp overnight and deliberate, that stability can't do either of these 2 options. And that just is no outcome at all, at least that one's definitely safe. Let's camp overnight and deliberate. Unable to decide which path to take, the team sets up camp by the tree bridge. In the early morning, the first people to wake up are greeted by a group of woolly mountain goats, all standing on the tree trunk, staring at the sleeping scouts. This sight is enough to convince the group of the bridge's safety, and their trust in the goats proves well earned. As the team settles down to camp for the night, they gather around a campfire, discussing the plan for the next day. We tell ghost stories, we can play music, compare maps gets us a landscape glyph. Let's tell ghost stories instead. Make use of this spirit essence. Scouts go around a circle telling stories of spirits haunting the woods and ghosts coming back to claim revenge. They speak of Lady Chrysanthemum and the Black Monk, Two-Mouthed Woman and the Bitter Smile, as well as countless others. Each one is more chilling than the last, and more than a few scouts end up waking up from nightmares that night. We get a spiritual glyph. Not quite as good here. Cleanse isn't too bad. We do need radiance, we do need change. We'll take cleanse. Ability to discard negative could potentially be useful as well. And wild fruits, okay. Food gain or safety loss, gain food, find something wildlife does not eat. I think rather than add another glyph to the deck, like food glyphs especially, a lot of the ones you get out of these survey events seem to be quite low tier ones. We will just use this for that bit of food. Yep. And then we'll use Invocation on that. Gain an inspiration back, gain a bit of beauty. Redraw. Yep, and then just use the rest of you, they'll give me some yield. It's a big chunk of this forest explored. Okay, so we're looking for safety. Forest, swamp, mountains, wasteland. Double wasteland? Seashore is not great for safety. Yeah, let's go double wasteland, just in here. It's haunting here. What do you do? Okay, when a development activated, you discard a random glyph. So, Salt Flats here, Ruined Outpost is the source of the safety here. We do kind of want to go for the Storm Chaser camp if I can. Just to get that started. It's a bit of a shame the Ruined Outpost is not on the one with the Storm Chaser camp, event-wise. But like, yeah, the Blessing is not really going to benefit us here. And we can just use you there. Oh yeah, discard bugger. Yep, that got rid of the connection we needed. Should have used the connection there first, shouldn't I? Oh well. I mean, you definitely got getting rid of all the stability, and I think that's the path I'm taking over on this side, so let's just start using stuff here. Yep, you get rid of that. Then you can just live there, and then I will divine. Looking for connection and craft. Which is none of you. No. The fill could be decent, but get rid of both these other ones. Okay, so you're going to discard one at random. I think we just have to... Yeah, you're not going to be able to get rid of both of the ways we have to complete Storm Chaser Camp if we place the craft in here. So let's do that. Okay, you get rid of that. It means I will just pacify you and then use this to get the Storm Chaser Camp. Just for the sake of getting rid of you because you were being annoying at me. Scholars gathered here believe that the shattering can be understood by studying the storms. Yep, we're not making any further progress. Tatakazure, crumbling fortress after its ruined outpost. Expand 2 is honestly not half bad, but I do think we need to start discarding stuff. To get rid of fruit or rice paddy, probably. Let's drop rice paddy. Now, harmony and safety. River, wasteland. Small building wasteland. Another forest one up here. Forest and seashore. Yeah, I think we can just go wasteland and seashore in here. Okay, no events over on this side. Oh, the harmony we're getting off the Horsehair does apply towards our total yield we need, which is quite nice. If I go shipping warehouse into lighthouse, we could actually get a lot of the yield we need. Like, that's another 5. We're just looking at a bit more harmony. Could get off the shipwright's yard if I can make it that far. Could use the... I do need to use the change here in order to get that, so we're not getting the blessing. Yeah, so shipping warehouse. Oh no, we can't do both of these. Okay, yeah, so we are going to be a tiny bit short harmony-wise. Unless I go Rock Garden, which I don't really want to, because again, I'm trying to get Storm Chaser's camp for the culture. So we're going to go Lighthouse. We are going to use you just to get that last bit of safety we require. And then these things... Bloom on top would not be a bad choice. We'll just, yep, use the Lotus. And then, yeah, use you for your bit of yield. Divine. Yep, keep the bloom up there. Otherwise, so that is stability and change. Not the most important thing to us, probably. We do need the Radiance. Craft and Life. Right, we could go right to the Stormwatch Citadel. We do need to get that. I'm not sure, just keep all. And can't do anything with that. Yep. You go there, Lighthouse. A fire lit atop this tiny island welcomes sailors tired from a long day away from home. And we're going Salt Flats. Yeah, unfortunately we're not getting the Storm Chaser camp. Did not get the connection glyph. Quite unfortunate, which means we probably are just going Rock Garden here for the Harmony. Yeah, you would conjure life into the hand. Yeah, not much else we're doing here. So you just go there. Yep, and we cannot get Ruined Outpost, nor of our remaining stuff. So we'll take that Blessing. And more there. Use you. And use you too. Bunch of beauty at least. And foray. Karasansu Sato, Rock Garden Town. Parent for the other connection? Parent is a very nice card. It is essentially a 3 essence uncommon. So that conjures Sun at the cost of productivity. Moon into Sun. You know what? I will grab Parent. Parent is a very, very good card. Okay, a whole lot of Harmony. Swamp is not good for Harmony. Mountain and Forest up here. Could do River and Wasteland, Mountain, Desert Mountain. Let's go for the Forest up here. We need to extend out in this direction a bit. Eternal Glade, very good for all of this. Sky Ropeways has an event on it. Only 1 life essence. Yeah, I do think other craft, only a low chance to get what we want, but we do want to progress in this direction. Let's get that done. Kodama, again, I keep forgetting hauntings exist. I just miss them when I'm observing. Very poorly done. Pacify that thing, please. So we are going to go for the Winding Pathway. Conjure here. Get that. We'll go for the event if we can. Get the Expand. Draw an extra card, please. Okay, okay. That at least can slot in there. Okay, so... you, Wildlife Sanctuary. Then we do have everything we need to get the Eternal Glade. We don't have what we need for the Sky Ropeways. So I'd need to use the fill there. I don't think there's another way to get around this though. Right, Pacify, Bless. We're not going to conjure anything into our hand. No. Quite unfortunate. Yep, seen this event before. Not far from the Eternal Glade, the scribe's disciples found the vein of the forest. Now we pour holy water to consecrate the trees. They pour the water slowly, neatly following along the forest vein. Trees appear unscathed, but next morning the moss carpeting the forest floor darkens, turning into slimy brown sludge. The impurities are purged, the disciples declare. Life force now flows pure and concentrated, no longer sapped by lesser growth. Hokage Mura, Bower Village. Ooh, city. That's just a pretty nice card. Love is a double bless. Both of these are new cards. Well, let's grab that double blessing. Now, convergence. Okay. All settlements connected for the migratory circuit, if I can pull that off. Now, we are very short on knowledge if we look at our yields. Can I get, I think, yeah, wasteland is security. Activity. Small building is food. Yeah, I don't think we have a knowledge location. That's pretty bad. Just where do I want to build this out then? And other thing we can make use of is food, but we're going to need to connect food in anyway. Let's just stick it out in the forest over here. Okay, we can get a few connections in. Let's do you first, since you're the one that provides... you. Since you provide something we can actually use. Yep, and then you can go into here. Okay, that's 2 connections. Now we can use 3 of these to get an additional connection, and then the expansion, I reckon, is a way to handle this. Yep, that gets us another parent. You can fulfill the shortage in here. It's just all that knowledge shortage. Redraw. Okay, that is 3. Do we have... Okay, yeah. I think we're gonna fall short here. Like with 3 connection, we need a 4th. And we can supply life, and 1 of stability or change. Tiny chance bright works, but that is very unlikely. Let's start combining stuff. There's nothing else I could do with any of these? No, I don't think so. Connection. Oh, no, I miscounted. We do actually have the correct amount. Everything is connected. Okay, in which case we might just be finishing this immediately after this to get the shard culture. We'll try and re-roll a place so we can progress the story. So, yeah, I don't think there's much else to do here. Just end the convergence like so. Yep. Guess we'll select the relic, does not really matter. Redbound bundle. Salvage glyph. What would get us the most individual parts? That seems like a lot in parent. Yep, we'll just salvage that. Get us a lot of individual pieces. Continue. And we are finishing up here. Because if I build another settlement, that settlement will not be connected until the next convergence. So finish expedition. Get this shard culture in while we have it. Sunabokori Iwa, the migratory circuit. Yes, people kind of move between the forest in the north and this kind of oceanside wasteland down in the south. Few things discovered, not many. Yep. New shard culture locked in. And we have a couple of history fragments for others. So the Way of Tea. The unique tea culture of Wakabashima traces its roots to two quiet tea houses. It began in Shikaraza, where good, no-nonsense tea was served without pretense or ritual. In Kozono, this rebellion against formality progressed, with cracked teacups becoming common vessels. These two seeds sprouted into a belief that would define the shard, that the vessel matters far less than the warmth it holds, and the ritual matters less than the connection it fosters. And the other one for our mountain shard, the dwellers in the walls. As the settlements expanded, the verticality of Gakujima required new ways to stay connected. The people here hold bridge-weaving festivals, where villagers on neighbouring peaks gather to twist thick hemp and vines into dizzying walkways over the abyss. These festivals are typically started by blowing massive horns, which echo against the mountains and announce the event to all the villagers in the area. Agriculture too had to adapt. It is now split into two distinct disciplines: valley farmers tending delicate greens, and high-altitude specialists coaxing hardy roots from the frozen soil. And since we did see how we didn't get any planes previously when I pinned something else, I think we'll just leave this quest with nothing else pinned on our next foray. Do have some more stuff to unlock inspiration-wise. More rerolls. And a replanning. Could grab my first landmark. I don't think I have enough to grab two. Yeah, use insight requires stroke, so really don't worry about that. Better glyph salvaging would be nice. Just like better deck thinning. And this is a prerequisite to it, even though this is not interesting. Let's start thinking about a landmark, maybe. Which one I want to grab? Like, this Mirage Gate landmark is cheaper. I could grab something else, and it's a prerequisite something. So let's grab this. If it comes up, I can explain the landmark thing. So that's something else that can potentially appear in our runs now. And then I'll grab you, even though I don't really care about you, just because you're a prerequisite to something I do care about. Simple enough. A lot of people gathered down here. Yeah, more magicians using glyphs, monks of the Shattered Order. Copper ring reminds me that we're all connected. Also, there's a green mark on my finger. A monk of the Ember Order down here. Resolve is like a fire, extinguished if not fed. And let's just dive straight back out there. Tuft of Horsehair again. Lose safety, gain twice as much adventure. Lose inspiration, gain twice as much beauty. Let's go Tuft of Horsehair again, it's a good relic. Okay, we do definitely have planes now. We can complete our quest. The shard feels smaller than usual, just a little one. Again, productivity out of forests is not the best early on. Seashore? Well, let's go seashore productivity for this. Yeah, shipping warehouse will handle this quite nicely. We can do whatever we want over in the forest. I'm gonna want stability on this, but these are the same, like, change stability either way. So you can just go there. Before goods can travel the waves, they need a proper send-off. This is just the place for it. Yep, you live there. And then we're just hoping for craft, or let's just use the continue here. Yep, get the shipwright's yard. And then foraging glade, foraging glade. The eternal glade would be very much overkill. Get all ready. Use the field chance goes, yep, into ships at sea. That's what I wanted to see. Alas, did not grab the connection. I could try and redraw into it. I can even use the divine to scry for it. Let's just Gain some of our yield points off the back of this. Let's scry before using you. Connection. Okay. Drop you. Keep the other one. Discard one, draw one. Good. Kept you. Ships at sea, please. Masts crowd the horizon, carrying the promise of distant shores. Excellent. End foray. Bunakura, boat storehouse, after a shipping warehouse. Yeah, bad glyphs. Balls are new, but I don't think I'm going to grab it. Let's risk the reroll. Okay, stick, also new. Sure, we'll take stick. It's a blessing. Stability and craft. Food and productivity. Don't want to use the canyon just yet, not on this. Forest and steppe. We'll kind of eat into the seashore a bit. Oh no, I'm just going to do the exact same thing as over here? Possibly. So, forest and I saw forest seashore somewhere. There we go. Forest seashore. Yep. Shipping warehouse, forage and glade. Same deal. Could go woodcutter's camp, but shipping warehouse is nice. There we go. And then stability, if I want the fruit grove, you already have a stability. We'll need a second one, so you go there. Use you. Grant this. Sure, we'll do the continue trick over here. Shipwright's yard out. Then want to go for the eternal glade already. I do kind of want this to count towards our actual yields when we need it, so we have quite a bit of time to go here. So you can just slot into the fruit grove. You can be burnt for a little bit of beauty. Okay, we have craft to craft. We do have the connection too. So you live there. You go there. We'll have matching settlements across the river. River, lake, ocean, across the water from each other. And foray. Different yields though, different yields. Shuro White Sail Shore, after its ships at sea. Same safety shortage. Okay, toil or cherry? Change and craft. Your stability in life, beauty also conjures fruit into the hand. Let's grab cherry. Okay, here we go. Beauty and productivity. Mountains and plains? Yeah, the Endless Blossoms is good for beauty. We don't have that much plain space nearby. I do kind of want to keep that open. Let's see if we can get the Endless Blossoms in. This little mountains plains settlement just in here. Yeah, so looking Wildflower Meadow. Not the best combination of things here. Yeah, looking lava-fed forges. I don't think I want to use my first replan. Not yet. Right, so you'll want to be Smoldering Crater into lava-fed forges. Use the flower here, Wildflower Meadow. Smoldering Crater. Yeah, I won't use the discard draw, I don't think. Although actually that probably will be fine, yeah. We use you for the change. You for the stability on lava-fed forges. You're not going to lock in anything wrong if you go in an incorrect place. We'll just use bright. Okay, Wrong place, but that's fine. We divine before we draw. Yep. So looking for connection, craft, life. Connection, craft, life. That's the life. Expand. I mean, would also not have been bad to take, but we're not going to need it otherwise. Let's just grab fruit off the back of this. Stick you there. Redraw. Okay, that's the connection. This is the craft. You in there. Now, quite tragically, yeah, we're not getting to the endless blossoms. Can't continue our way through here without using the join to complete the connection. You conjure a fruit into hand. Yeah. Such as it is. Oh well. Sacred Grove, at least we met all our yield requirements. Just sit there, not accomplishing much. And foray. Hinokushi, Mouth of Fire, after its smouldering crater. Here we go, good cards. So, Desk, continue 1, gain 10 knowledge. 1 basic to advanced essences, or Safe. Pacify 2, gain safety. I like the Pacify and I like the Spirit Essence too. Radiance would also be nice, but yeah, we'll go Safe for the moment. Regional survey, which direction do we want to head? Let's explore out this way. Okay, missing rations. Yeah, so gain 10 harmony, choose a food glyph, let her have her revenge. This is almost certainly a bad outcome. Let's see it and lock it in. Use you. The woman lands 1 kick on the thief's behind and walks away. It is enough to cause damage, but enough to leave a traumatic memory. Yeah, bad outcome. That's actually put us negative on safety too. Yeah, that's a real bad. 6 inspiration and yield loss on top of that. Definitely one to avoid in the future. Stream crossing. Yeah, we've seen all the outcomes on this. Build a makeshift bridge is the only safe one here. Scout for narrow point would also get across without problems. We definitely don't want more safety loss, so let's stick you in there. You there. Build a makeshift bridge. Get across the river. Wild fruits. Gain food. Yeah, gain some food. The towering tree. Yeah, we have debate on how to approach it. The priest, the scholar, the adventurous sort. Okay, previously when we got this we just got wound, but there is a chance if we climb the tree that we get a relic, the Cedar Sprig. Whenever you restore inspiration, restore more inspiration. Well, I think we're probably fine. Let's just pay respects to the spirit. See one of the other outcomes here. Priest draw glyphs in the dirt around the tree. He bows deeply and chants several prayers while the rest of the group stands back respectfully. Finally, the priest is satisfied with the ritual and the group moves on from the clearing. Select a spiritual glyph. Oof. I reckon this is just a skip. Could grab second radiance in the form of no. It is a new glyph. I don't feel like that's worth it. Yeah, let's just skip. Chose not to add a glyph. Bitter water. Now, yes, we have not boiled the water yet. I've seen all these other outcomes. Fresh is real nice. I mean, with no sign of a change in our hand, I think let's... Yep, we'll just use you for the 10 beauty and conjure a fruit into our hand, then use that fruit to go the first slot towards searching downstream. Since I've already invested 1 in here, let's just finish that off. And leave that last option until I actually start off with a change in my hand at a later point. And the mudslide. We just saw this one. Yep, we do want to... There, that'll get all our safety back. Wonderful, wonderful. Perfect. We can inspire most of our inspiration back. Okay. Knowledge and adventure. Out in the steppe. Not the best for either of these, eh? Small buildings, hills. Wow, hills are awful for knowledge and adventure. Scrubland's decent. Mountains. Pretty decent for both of these. Mountains and river. Mountain forest. Mountain river. But let's just go up here. Mountain and river. Okay, the Akashita. Whenever I fill a slot in mountains, I discard a random life glyph. I do kind of want the Ember Monastery. I will only need one life glyph for that, and I do currently have 2. But, I mean, if one's going to get discarded, I might as well just pacify you, in case you cause complications for me next hand. Now go dock into raft building over here. Yep. Going to be a bit short on knowledge, however. I might need to go all the way up to Dragon's Rest if I can. Pacify you with that. Smouldering Crater. Stick you there. Oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to make use of this now anymore. I can put a craft on top. Guarantee I at least get into the raft building yard if I progress down this way. Probably worth doing. So we want to continue here. The Umber Trial. Okay, so the Oracle Bone or the Paper Charm. I don't have 3 craft for the other option. I do like the Paper Charms. Let's inscribe protective glyphs on paper before stepping forward. Yep, we get a 1 glyph whenever I redraw. Essentially an extra continue on my second hand, which is nice. And now you slot in there. We get the resource out of you and put another card on top of my deck, which I'll be able to make use of. Excellent. Then let's see, do we have everything with the continuing stuff here? I think so. Let's just lock in the Dragon's Rest first for that knowledge. Yeah, so let's hold on to you. We'll just use you there. Use... I do have 2 continues to potentially get through this. But that would require using the Spirit Essence here, which would prevent me from getting Dock anyway. So, yeah, we'll just use our continue here. Dragon's Rest. Old world legends speak of great dragons resting within such fiery peaks. The recent sightings are lacking. With a little pair of eyes staring out of the cave, though. And over here... yeah, we'll go dock into raft building yard, and then that's as far as we're going to go. Well, let's get the blessing out so I get a little bit more supply out of that. Excellent. A little bit more safety too. And foray. Just a handful of houses up in the mountains. Shojin Kubo. Purification Hollow, after the Dragon's Rest. That is powerful, right? Its invocation targets 4 essence slots, but you despair. Yeah, that is strong. Okay, High Harmony. I just check these, like Eternal Glade is a good harmony one, if I want to try that now. Ghost Lanterns is not good harmony. Endless Blossoms is also good harmony. So forest or plains? Can I get forest and plains here? Mountains and plains. There's a tiny spot there. Mountains, plains, forest, mountains. Yeah, I don't think I can get both mountains and plains in here. Oh yes, there I can. We'll go for that. Mountains and plains. We'll see which one looks more likely. So I think it's... Yeah, not actually... I wanted forest. Well, not. I wanted forest and plains. Why do I think mountains and plains? Oh well, it's fine. You're locked. But we can just get rid of you with this one. We do want access to all this. Sacred Grove currently has an event, which is extra nice. Yeah, stick the connection in. Which am I more likely to get through? Natural hot springs into the onsen if I can. That's decent yield. No events or anything to worry about here, so... Smouldering Crater. We will use the Divine rather than this one Inspire. So we're very much looking for life, change, and spirit. Life, keep, cool. Redraw. Okay, actually we can continue through the life, so I maybe wanted to discard that. Oh dear. Or we can continue through the spirit, which we're currently missing. That's what we'll do. Sacred Grove event, the Hollow Heart. Ah yes, we've seen this one. Grandfather Grove, a massive tree, has begun to lean. Its trunk is rotted and much of it is now hollow. How do we fix this? If we pack the hollow with sand, we lose beauty. We can lose beauty but gain the ancient bark, which will gain us safety on every slot of life. And prop it up with bamboo crutches, fell it before it hurts someone. Let's try propping it up with bamboo crutches. A lattice of bamboo poles is constructed, tucked under the heaviest boughs like crutches. The tree leans on them, looking like a weary elder supported by dutiful grandchildren. It is frail, but it lives on to witness years to come. Oh, yeah, nice positive outcome there, which is good to see. Yep, and you just go there, and we're going to need to continue through, get the Endless Blossoms. I don't want to risk this continuing. I need to remember to fill that in first. Get the natural hot springs. Okay, now we use continue. Yep, consecration Endless Blossoms. The expedition gathers the edge of a vast meadow, where petals sway gently in the breeze, bright and unending. Pour a circle of salt to mark the ground sacred. A ring of salt is poured around the center of the field, grains glittering in the sunlight on the petals. By morning, the blossoms on the edge of the ring have wilted. Days pass, the effect spreads, flowers bowing in turn. Place is given up as energies to aid in the reunification. Now, I don't think we're filling this in. We're definitely not using the despair for no options. Let's just get a bit of beauty, some inspiration, a bit of food. And foray. Wakuazumi, Boiling Spring Plateau. Radiance, paper. That's another bless, a new one too on paper. Radiance is real strong, however. Like Pacify and Beauty. I want to grab the new one. I'm going to be boring and just go for the stronger card. Add that to the deck. Keep adding powerful cards in. Forest, go for the other consecration too. Probably the way to handle this. Mountain and forest down here, perhaps, rather than double forest. Yeah, mountain forest down here. Okay, Woodcutter's Camp event. Probably should have gone for the sky ropeways. I did see the event was tied to that, but oh well. Foraging Glade, Wildlife Sanctuary, into Eternal Glade. So 2 life. And then, yeah, so we've done the Spirit, but I do have everything else associated with this. We don't need Knowledge, so I'm not using Right for its invocation. Yep. Foraging Glade. Wildlife Sanctuary. We're not using Connection, so we can just use Bird here. Yeah, if I use you, you would give me life. Not exactly what we're looking for. You slot into there. Fine, Inspire. I mean, what do I want over here? Smoldering Peaks, Natural Hot Springs again. I could try going Snow-Capped Peaks just for something different. Winding Path. Just wondering kind of which option I want to go for here. We'll use you. Just use you. A little bit of inspiration. And let's grab the Snow-Capped Peaks here. So I'll use your Conjuration to get fruit. You live there. Redraw. Continue. Gets us the Eternal Glade. Yep. We just saw this one. Yep. So that's 2 consecrations done. You live there. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you. Verdant Hollow. And then, yep. These all give me some yield, so let's just work through them. Use them all. Inspiration is back up to full now. Amatsu, Heavenly Branch, after its Eternal Glade. Thicket, good card, already got one. I reckon it's time to start removing glyphs though. So what do we think? Stone, Rest. Discard, draw, expand. Let's cut Rest out of this. Yeah. On to the Convergence. Once again, we are short knowledge mostly. We're also short safety. Don't have a way to make either of those. Large building, we can just meet, which would give us the knowledge. I don't think, yeah, we can't quite reach Scrubland over there. So sure, let's get the knowledge effect by building a capital up here. Okay. Now, let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't really have a good range of production here. None of our settlements can readily fill the shortages of any of the other settlements. Shard Capital at least can cover some of them. So you're going to want 2 life. These ones are going to want double stability. And the one we can cover is the radiant stuff. And let's get some of this stability covered. Use you on that. Just in case, let's slot... You know what? I can fill a random. That might be more useful off that. And conjure you to get... Yeah, I'll just grab the other stability off this. Meet that shortage. You, I think, are just going into either of these. Craft another connection just in case. You fill one random slot. Okay, you just filled a radiant slot anyway. Cool. Okay. You go there. Connection potentially useful. You live there. The 2 of you live here. You will continue one of these. I have no real way to guarantee you'll do an appropriate one if I stick you here first. Yeah, that way it would have either given me a connection to connect that or complete the shortage by itself anyway. Okay, no shortages at least, even if only a couple of places are connected. Select a relic. Hand size, better inspiration. Variety of glyphs. Let's improve our hand size. Take the field scroll. And we'll need to break down something. Looking at our distribution stuff down here. I think let us take wind apart or expand. The ability to draw an extra card is sometimes useful. Yeah, we're not getting many pieces out of up, but we're unlikely to pull the expand reliably in our first hands. We'll remove that. And we need a whole lot of productivity. Canyon, forest, mountains, forest. Steppe is quite good for productivity. We can just go forest, steppe. Plains is real bad, but it does count as the third location here. Haunting. What is the Onudo again? Oh, it's new. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. That's the little symbol next to it means. I mean, let's go forest, forest, steppe. Oh, see this new haunting. Oh, it's you. I remember you from the demo. Oh, I think they changed you though. Yeah, so whenever I fill a slot, you would... Yep, they changed you. Whenever you fill a slot, you add Quake to the hand now. But what they've done is changed what Quake did. So Quake will just store itself like on top of the deck. So essentially the amount of slots you fill before getting rid of this is the amount of slots that kind of get cancelled out of your later hands. What Quake used to do... Well, what this used to do, it wasn't when slot filled, it was when card used. And Quake, when it stores itself, uses itself. What the Onudo used to do was, if you played any cards, like if you didn't just immediately use your automatic pacify to get rid of him, he added an arbitrarily large amount of cards on top of your deck. Essentially, he reduced you to only having one hand. Was what he did if it was on the field with no real counterplay except immediately pacifying him, because Quake would infinitely trigger itself. But this has been altered. You are now moderately more reasonable. I do note I don't actually have a way to get rid of you. I only have one stability, but oh well. I mean, how am I going to handle this then? Yeah, not a great hand, eh? I mean, let's just conjure you in. Stick. You there, yeah, slot fill, that gets me a Quake. And then we can just continue. Pacify, little bugger. We only have one Quake now. That is fine and acceptable. Woodcutter's Camp into Lumberyard. Probably the way to go here. Are we just going to have... Yep, get you there, get you there. A little random thing. Good chance of something I don't particularly want here, but I reckon we're fine. Just fill something. Make use of yourself. Oh, Lumberyard. Perfect. Kind of a best case scenario, really, off the back of that. Clay Pit into Pottery Kiln. There's an event there. Avon Crossroads, another event. Let's go for the Pottery Kiln event over here if I can. Which means... I guess you're just getting a Foraging Glade over here. And then let's define some. I'm looking for Change, Craft, potentially Radiance after the fact. And your Change, I definitely don't need you. Yeah, so we'll just keep like that. Draw. Yeah, you store yourself on top of the deck, then draw. Yep, did not get what I was looking for there. But at the very least, I can get a clay pit in. I can go to the cricket choir. And can I manage to get down to the avian crossroads? Oh, we'll keep the avian crossroads. Let's just grab... Yeah, clay pit. Pottery kiln cannot do anything about. Gain some extra yield off the back of all this. Yep, and foray. So Amici. Okay, mix. Change and connection. Adapt to lose harmony. I think we're still on thinning down the deck a bit. What do I reckon? One of these life ones? Sure. Yeah, let's get rid of fruit. Okay, food and adventure. Okay, so the seashore, the one we're looking for, is a good adventure location, the Ghost Lanterns. Yeah, we're kind of boxed in a bit. We can't squeeze in a settlement. Okay, we can squeeze one in there. We like seashore steppe plains. Like forest, mountain, seashore. Yeah, let's go for the consecration on the Ghost Lanterns if we can. Kodama. Yeah, when any yield gained in this site. And I think Kodama only appear in the forest. Let's just start you. Yeah. You're tied to the forest at least. We want to get the Ghost Lanterns if we can. Beeline towards that, please. Tide marker into the Ghost Lanterns. Yeah, I'm not going to make use of you on your knowledge essence slot, so you can just slot into here. You slot into there. And now we're looking food stuff. I mean, discarding random glyphs off the back of filling in the forest, not the worst thing, not the worst thing. Really not. So, yeah, let's just go you to there. Okay, you discard that one. That is fine by me. We want you to get you. And then since you will just oh, it's only one yield gain too, so I can even just slot this in without losing a draw. So I don't want to grab the Smoldering Crater. It's fine, just draw something, so it we grab. Okay, that's good. We can get the Ghost Lanterns. Yep, consecration. Seeing this one too. A place of change. Pour a trail of ash between the lanterns. A trail of ash is poured between the lanterns, and a great urn is emptied into the sea. Soon, some of the ash sinks, but much of it rises, hanging in the air around the dock. The air itself was shifting. Let me appreciate the Enlightened One's power to change the very essence of the world. Yep, so that'll be 25, which will be enough, so we just need to hold on to stick to the end. So what do I want to do over on this side? Snowcapped peaks into ice caves? Kind of losing a bit of beauty just on the yield here. Ember Monastery? Well, much for much. You know what? Let's just pacify that thing, because I can, and also gain the yield. Makes everything look a bit neater with that done now. And I'll just slot that in there. And let's let chance take the wheel. Fill a random slot, please, Bright. Winding path it is. Probably the weakest. Jolly good. Gain what yield we can. And end the foray. Minotsukushi, channel marker, after its tide markers. Okay, so fast satisfies 6 but conjures clumsy. Blow is spirit and change, expand 2, discard 1. You know what, we'll take that. Yeah, and now we just need to survive to the end of the phase. And for productivity and food. Okay, forest. Plains. Forest, rocky cliff. Honestly, not bad for the current combination. Yeah, let's go. I don't think I'll be able to squeeze another settlement in there if I did this. That is probably okay. Maybe if I go right over to the edge here. New haunting again. Okay, whenever goal yield is gained, add a drunk glyph to your hand. Makes me despair some. Yeah, and you are any location. Goal gained. Yeah, gain drunk. Let's just pacify you immediately off the back of safe. Always useful. Foraging Grade and Fruit Grove, both for events over here. Granite Quarry is how we will try and grab this. So, yep, let's just go get the Granite Quarry stuff locked in. Silver seams shimmer with the promise of rings and necklaces to invite envy. And then we can just get the first step of both these locked in. Foraging Glade. Foraging Glade. Little blue figures. You kind of mushroom. Makes you hallucinate. Okay, so Omen. Ban the mushrooms. Continue using the mushrooms as a staple food. Possibly deeply unwise, but let's see what happens if we just keep eating them. Sellers continue to harvest the mushrooms, consuming them almost daily. Only a few people suffer the strange visions, and once the novelty wears off, they mostly ignore them. The mushrooms do become a draw for pilgrims eager to commune with the spirits, although most are disappointed when they end up unaffected. Oh, that is nice. This one is tagged rare. Allows 1 extra event each foray. That is very powerful. Like, events can give you a pretty big boost, especially once you know what the outcome's going to be. Craft and stability. I mean, that turns into stability, and that can continue on to be a craft, so we'll keep both of them. Yep. Made it to both of these. You in there. You in there. And then we have several ways to continue through this. We can fill, we can continue. Let's get it all done. The Fruit Grove. Fallen fruit. The harvest was late. Time anyone noticed, Grove's bounty had begun to fall. Gain harmony by leaving the fruit for the animals. Burn the fruit as a ceremonial offering. Sort and mulch what can't be saved. Let's burn the fruit as a ceremonial offering. The early fallen fruit. The fallen fruit is gathered into neat mounds. Fire is lit and prayers are murmured, some old, some invented on the spot. The ashes smell faintly of sugar. The elders shake their heads, saying at least it should have fed someone. Younger settlers mutter that spirits belong in the old world. Yeah, so that's just a pretty bad outcome. Minus harmony and a weak card added to the deck. Not great, not great, not great. At least we know to avoid that one in the future. Gain a little bit more yield. And foray. Ginmaya Kudo, Silver Vein Cave after a silver mine. And this space produces silver and a lot of fruit. Yeah, I think we are removing another glyph. Get rid of that other fruit. Regional survey. I mean, most of the unexplored space is out in this direction, so let's go there. The tigers. Yeah, so we can watch the tigers' behavior to get some safety. We could afford to lose a little bit, but let's just go for the good option. And go that rather than the one that can change. The thieving wind. Yeah, stuff all gonna sent away. We definitely don't want to take Pierce. We can follow the hat. Yep, see what outcome this gives us. The surveyors give up on the papers, but chase the straw hat as it vanishes over the hill. The hat leads them to a sheltered hollow, the ground completely covered in wildflowers. A little bit of beauty. The odd rock. I do not have any knowledge. Look at that, 35 knowledge yield, so I'm going to do bugger all here. And I guess we get a little bit more knowledge. Mark with the signpost. A heavy burden. Yep, you're carrying too much stuff. I mean, take a burdensome glyph. We don't want to do that. Leave the first aid supplies. Leave the extra rations. Split the load. I imagine these are going to penalize us food and safety, probably? Let's see. Do we lose... lose safety. The overburdened scout finally submits to the social pressure. Leaves behind his box of bandages and ointments. Sure, the team will regret it the next time someone is injured. The lonely step. Yeah, while the explorers becomes increasingly withdrawn. Choose an emotion glyph, confront, sing to raise morale. This one has a requirement, let's try singing. The group begins to sing a cheerful walking song. A happy tune sounds hollow at first, lost in the wide expanse, but soon verses are interspersed with bouts of laughter and faces begin to brighten. The lagging scout can't help but join in when he recognizes a song from his childhood. Okay, and the hapless carter. Duck cart. So, we can lose a bunch of harmony by leaving them alone, lose some inspiration to get the cartwheel. I see we have a lot of continued. Cartwheel might not be bad here, but I wouldn't mind seeing one of these other outcomes. Carry the cart over, take the settler along. Carry the cart over is probably the most specific outcome here. So let's see what that does. 3 scouts join the settler and raise the whole cart onto their shoulders. Together, they carefully carry it over the bridge and leave it safely on the other end. The whole team finds such shared physical effort inspiring. More inspiration restored. Yep. And let's just gain a little bit of yield off the back of this. Here we have a town square, a lot of small buildings through here. Productivity, harmony, adventure. Let's see. Forest Plains Step, maybe? And we might run a little bit short on productivity, but I think this isn't too bad as a set of yields to work towards this outcome. New haunting again. Let's see, what do you do? Okay, craft. Yeah, when any yield is gained in this site, lose it. So one of our sites is locked down and not able to produce anything until we slot a craft. The step. Okay. An enormous chubby rat spirit is said to haunt these steps, devouring everything in its path. Probably a step-specific haunt then, given its description. Blessing of Craft would be quite good. Pacify. Yeah, you see the horsetail really coming in useful here. The horsehair. Like, that's all of our harmony for this one already taken care of. I do kind of want to use that blessing if I can. So let's... Yeah, we'll just use the pacification. Get rid of you. And then clay pit. Use the blessing first. Pilgrim's Rest onto Post Road. Get me some adventure as well as a bit more productivity. Yeah, a lot of the adventure is locked down over here in the Verdant Labyrinth. Let's start working towards that. You can be Clay Pit. And you can be... Yep, Pilgrim's Rest. Yep. Okay, if we fill one, there's a risk you would do the Storyteller Camp. If I use you now, lowest chance, let's not Storyteller Camp. Wonderful, Pottery Kiln, perfect, thank you. And like, if I burn you, you could fill both of those. It would be nice to help you get into the Verdant Labyrinth, but we're not there yet, so instead you just go into here. Help me work towards the Post Road. Blessing of Adventure could be decent. That'll get that up to 10. So that'll be the connection. We can continue to get this done. Without the continue, can I make this? That is 1 life. And then, yep, stability. A change, yep. Yep. Okay, no, we still need the 2 connection here. I can do the Verdant Labyrinth if I don't go for the Post Road. I can't do the Blessing and the Continue at least. Let's start over on this side. Stuff we can afford to lose is... Yep, you, because we have the other stability. So you are our life. Your stability. You are so. Now we have the connection. And you... Use you there. Yeah. And by keeping both of these, we can get both of these done. We're not getting that done. But that is okay. The Painted Ceramics Workshop. Yep. You do whichever one you want. Verdant Labyrinth. The entwined canopies of these ancient trees have turned this part of the forest into a maze of twisty little passages, all alike. Post Road? A ribbon of hardened earth, smooth by feet, unwilling to weave through the grass. And we gain some beauty. And foray. Owake, fork in the road. After us, Post Road. Calm. Stability and Spirit discards 4 negative, gain 5 harmony. I think we're still doing the refining stuff though. Let's cut Wind out of the deck. More adventure, harmony, and some beauty. Let's see. Large building we can still make use of. Harmony is going to at least be partially covered. Adventure's probably the large one. Adventurer's Guild, I believe, is the adventure one over there. We have the swamp down here too. Honestly, yeah, swamp settlement might not be bad. Let's grab the large building. Sure, try and go for that. Okay, what do you do? When any yield is gained this site, lose 2 inspiration. A koto that plays itself at night, weeping for the songs the world has forgotten. Not the worst haunting to have to live with. Yeah, I think I can manage this one. Okay, yeah, you're in the large building. Looking for the Adventurers Guild. Like, yeah, Smolden Craton to Emperor Monastery will also tackle a bunch of it. Or I could go down to the Natural Hot Springs for more beauty and the rest of the harmony. We have options. We have options. I do think I'm just going to have to lose a bit of inspiration here and just going to bully my way through this evil instrument. Yeah, let's go Smoldering Crater. Yeah, the mountain explodes. Oh, I possibly should have left that so I get some of the harmony back. But we can go for the good one at least. Bunch of harmony, bunch of safety. Search for alternatives. We can get everyone out alive. There we go. Okay, okay. Now, still looking for a little bit of beauty, a little bit of adventure. Silkweaver's Hut would also get us that bit of beauty if I really want it. I don't have that much use for this little rice paddy. Like, if I do go Adventurers Guild, you're going to make up all of that, and this 10 will not going to make a difference. You just lock in the mulberry bush. And the common dining hall. Yeah. You live there. Oh yeah, 2 yields means we lose it twice. Should be okay though, should be okay. Yeah, and then you slot in there. You can get me that Silkweaver's Hut and the event on that. A different weave. Okay. I think we've seen this once. Yeah, lose 30 harmony, gain the Obey glyph. It's an interesting glyph, but I don't think we'll discourage the Weaver from doing her own thing. Instead, let's use the unique cloth as the hut's banner. The brightest piece is cut and stitched together with more traditional pieces into a banner above the door. Settlers nod as they pass beneath it, some stopping to trace the threads. The Weaver continues to experiment, weaving strands of gold and silver into the next piece. Silk Loop. The first time you cast Discard, it skipped. Oh, that's nice. Fine Thread returns what was lost, but only once. Okay, okay. And now I definitely don't want to fill in case you grab the assembly hall, which means I don't think I have a use for you. You can, otherwise... You know what? Yeah, just give me that little bit of inspiration. Redraw hand. Yep, and we can just continue through all this. And can pacify 1 to get rid of one of the U. You know what? If I just... I'm trying to think. So other options I'm going to need to use... Yeah, I can afford to use you. Pacify. Oh, you go there. And you live over there. You continue to pacify this. Oh, hang on. This will do one of the 2 things. You go in here first. Pacify that. Then you continue to finish off the Adventurers Guild. Cool. And what can I do over on this side? Ember Monastery. Cannot do both. Natural Hot Springs. Yeah, also cannot do. We're just short on life at the moment. I don't want to bother despairing to do all that. So I guess we just gain a little bit of safety. And end the foray. Kinugasa Mura, Silk Canopy Village, after its Silkweaver's Hut. I reckon just some more discards in here. We really don't have much connection in the deck, only 2. This convergence could get rough. That is for certain. That is for certain. Find 1 Earth. Let's conjure. Let's get rid of Earth. Okay. Last foray before convergence. Looking for security, knowledge, manufacturing. Small building, scrubland, town square. Forest, The canyon. Decent for the security. The forest, the mountains. Oh, yeah, forest, canyon, mountain. Double haunting down here, though. Yeah, all over here. I think everywhere is going to be a double haunting now. Yes, it is. Oof. A little bit different depending on where I go. You'll lock down the forest. Dharma. Okay. So when a development is activated on wherever you hear in the canyon, you will shrink our hand size unless I can use change. And you will make me discard life. Try and survive this. Yep. So you're tied to this site, you're tied to this site. Use the life, then you're not going to do anything. Yeah, we definitely want to go Eternal Vault down here. And that'll be our safety, some of our knowledge. Productivity here, simple enough. Yeah, and then over here, probably want to go Ember Monastery for a bit more knowledge. Not the best outcome, unfortunately. Cool, yeah, so you will give me you, which I would have to expend. I can give the Bless here to make this a bit easier. Get up to the safety if I can't make the full amount. Other blessings, yeah, not immediately. This expand will be very good, especially because we're not going to discard off the back of it. I don't think I have any real use for this connection, unfortunately. But I don't think I really want to replan. Yeah, let's grab... Oh. Yeah, we'll just go with this hand. Go with this hand. Please don't be mistakes. We'll use you here, and we're not using the Bless. Then you give me this. Now, I can use this in order to complete the Woodcutter's Camp. That gets out my hand. Cool. That gets us this event. Okay, so we can get the Prune Glyph and 20 Harmony. As much as I kind of want to experiment if I can, I do think... Establish a care routine. I don't know if that will get me into the yields I'm really looking for. And I can use the craft off this. We're just going to prune enough to help it grow, go for the option we're familiar with. This is why it's really nice to get as many of those options out of the way as you can, as quickly as you can. So you know what you're working with when you get an event. Okay, that's going to be almost certainly, like, yeah, 100% chance to get stability. That'll be our safety done. And our productivity is done. We're looking at knowledge. Only real source of knowledge we have access to. We're looking for 10 here. The Smoldering Crater over here. You're going to make me discard a random life glyph. That's fine. I only need one. I have plenty of spare, but no, we definitely need to use you to expand. Ooh. Yeah, that's a bit rough. That is a bit rough. I don't want you going to the wrong location if I use the random fill. Like, 2 slots here as opposed to any amount of slots over here, either the ones inside. I think it's worth the risk. Damn, no, bad outcome. Oof, yeah, we're losing some inspiration off the back of this now. Ow. Ow, that's gonna hurt. Yes, it is. I mean, let's divine too. We're looking for stability Yeah, we're just really looking for stability now. Something to help with knowledge. Or stability, you will heal me some. So we'll keep both of you. And then let's just slot you in there. Get the blessing. Redraw. Okay. Eternal Vault. Plenty of options here. Slot you in. The records remain of what lies behind this massive gate. Whoever built it clearly wanted to make sure it stays inside. Yeah, that gives me this. You can just pacify that thing. And don't think we readily have much else we can use to make up the shortfall here. Unfortunately, yeah, we're going to lose a bunch of inspiration off the back of this. Really hope we can survive. That's fine, you gain some yield, that gets me the extra safety at least. We can heal up a couple of inspiration. Just gain some more yield here and there. I'll take the lumberyard. Sure, we will take the blessing here. Stick you in there. Continue that. Use you as well. Gain a little bit more beauty even. Cool. Yeah, and we lose 18. Oof. Ooh, that hurts. Iwato, stone door after its eternal vault. That's another connection. I want to just add a connection or remove something from the deck. I think just remove something from the deck here. Something I'm very unlikely to make any use of at this point is basic divination. Cut that. Convergence. Here we go. Let's try and survive. I can survive up to 4 shortages. Okay, we did get 2 connections immediately. So at the moment, we produce knowledge and beauty. We're connected to 2 places that need adventure. I have a settlement that produces adventure, has a safety shortfall. I have no settlements that produce safety. Dang. I still think that might be useful to grab. Yeah, just because like that will handle 2 shortages immediately if I get safety into my capital. Okay. Now, a whole lot of knowledge places. You are knowledge and adventure and will give me productivity. Let's connect up to here. We're not surviving, are we? Oh, we are so not surviving. Extra expansion will be nice. Let's just use you immediately. So, on the actual capital, we just need 1 stability in. Use you like so. Oh, wow, that is a nice card. It satisfies all 4 stores itself, too. We are just using you as a connection card here, though. Yeah, so connecting up this place will get rid of 2 shortages and add a new resource to the set of the capital. Cool, cool, cool. We'll want to do the same over here if we can. Anyway, we're just going to go you in there. Toss you in there. Use you to kind of try and counter some shortage somewhere. Yeah, we're not getting safety in. So you can just slot in there. Redraw hand. Ooh, pain, pain, pain. Experiencing great pain. The knowledge of pain. Knowledge of suffering. Get me a connection, please. Okay. You can spread... Yeah, and then we'll add that to the top of the deck. I don't think I can make too much use of that. I go over here, that's another 2 shortages done and another resource added to the capital. So many shortages still. Oh, so many. Pain, the knowledge of pain, the experience of pain. Okay, so anywhere with 2 shortages, it is more efficient to spend 3 cards in here than to try and fill all 4 of the things. So let us focus on that. You slot in there. Do need 2 craft to solve that one, but we can solve the other 2 with this, so you can become that. You can become this. Oh, spread connection. Yep, you... all the shortages there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Need to get rid of 4 more with barely any cards. Yeah, we're dead. Not surviving the same phase. Deeply, deeply unfortunate. Right, you can continue that to get rid of this. Just do that. Another one down. Yeah, we just didn't connect up enough places in the first convergence. And then... there's nothing for it but to craft another connection using these 3. Yeah, you are you. Oh, we can split you and despair. You know what? Worth doing, like, that will save more than the 5 it costs. That is a very good card. Okay. Now, let's just fill a random location somewhere, I think. Small chance it goes into one of the connects. No, awful. Worst possible outcome. Ow. I should have filled that in kind of before using it, just to decrease the amount of possible bad locations it could go. Another 2 handled at least. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. Yeah. We're only getting this far because I spent that 5, so even if I hadn't spent that 5 inspiration, we still would not be surviving this. So just go in there. In there. And then not much I can do with just this last one. And convergence. Game over. Ow. Yeah, did not survive 2 phases. Didn't even get a shard culture out of all that. Nadeshiko no Kuni. Well, we discovered various things, at least. Bunch of new hauntings, some new glyphs. Yeah, teacher's nice. Let us return to the Haven. Got a lot of insight, at least. A lot. Some stuff has developed back here. Origin of the Way of the Tea continues to progress. Over time, this refusal of ritual evolved into a cultural idiom, exemplified by the phrase, "one time, one meaning." The settlers realize their chipped cup or an awkward pause in a conversation isn't a flaw to be corrected, but a unique signature of that specific moment in time, never to be repeated. To smooth a tablecloth too perfectly is considered pretentious here. The way of tea on this island is not a path of rigid choreography, but a practice of being entirely present in the imperfect, fleeting reality of the now. And the migratory circuit. The settlement of Sunabakori Iwa began as a gamble against the harsh winds and ever-present dust. The first settlers discovered the ancient ruins here held immense treasures of the past. but for half the year, scouring winds blew hard enough to strip the paint off wagon in minutes. Rather than fleeing, they reinforced their homes in Karasansui, Sato, with thick, windowless walls towards the wind, agreeing on a shared custody with the storms. Now, we have a lot of insight to play with. Now, yeah, the ability to cut one more card out of the deck, at least during our first convergence, which is when it'll be important. I think the thing to do, though, is just grab some more... Yeah, I think some more landmarks. We didn't see the landmark we did grab, but Post Road, we'll grab this. And kind of see here, so like this would let me, if I get the landmark, so you remember how last time there was a Post Road which we built, this would make a Post Road landmark. Essentially, it would add a little modifier like an event to the Post Road, which would then let me spend Harmony to connect settlements. That would be useful. We'll grab you. Capital activated provisions. See what that's about. That could potentially be useful too. Shard Council, probably not compared to some other things. The Verse Arena. Sure, grab capital activated provisions. And let's grab the Verse Arena landmark too. A couple of landmarks. And a new thing will happen in the convergence. Now, we didn't get a Shard Culture after all. Am I content just going without Shard Cultures to try and force this? I think so. There's enough kind of restrictions on us what we can do. I really don't want to try and do anything too complicated here, which a lot of these are starting to be. And the paper distributors, I don't think is really going to alter the overall terrain. We'll pin this one and just try and remember it. Right, it's just get certain developments a few times and a bunch of knowledge. I think we'll just add some town squares, which shouldn't prevent like planes and stuff from spawning. And over through here, it keeps giving us this dead branch. I do not want the dead branch. No. So this dead branch might be useful if I want to go for the one where you have no food. But let's just go for the census tag, reduce all 4A goals. Ow. Okay, you know what? Because we have no planes here, it did happen again. I'm just going to cancel out of this expedition without accomplishing anything and just try again. See if we can get a map to spawn we could actually progress the story forward. No, it's going to force us to play on this map. If I unpin the thing, will that alter how the train spawns? Yeah, paper distributors. Unpin. Same deal, same deal. Oh, no. Was that always that? No, there's some planes here now. Yes, it has changed. Yep. That's enough. That's enough, yeah. Because we needed some of these planes locations. So, 3 places of power. Plains, seashore, forest. At the moment, we just need productivity. Exactly associated with any of them. Let's just go hill and scrubland down here. Mulching shed, Indigo shrub patch, Silkweaver's hut has an event. Stone quarry has an event and is also one we're looking for in specifics. Choose the bless, keep the expansion. And let's just cash that in now. The rolling boulder. The quarriers have developed a time-saving technique of rolling the stones they cut down the hill instead of dragging them by hand. All day, boulders tumble down the hillside with a roaring boom. When one boulder rolls to a stop at the center of the settlement's main road, narrowly missing a settler towing a cart of firewood, the neighbors declare they've had enough. Hold a meeting, ignore the protesting villagers, let the nearly crushed settler decide. Let's hold a meeting about the issue. The town council calls a meeting to hear all sides of the argument to help calm tensions between the settlers. The result is a new law maintaining that the quarry is only allowed to operate during the middle of the day, when most settlers are away from their homes and the roads are empty. That gives us the law card, stability and connection. It locks a selector's site, preventing any more slots from being filled, while drawing 1 stability. Connection's nice. Now, more repatch in Silkweaver's hut for the event, if we can pull that. Sure. Okay, so we go... I mean, does not really matter at that point. Slot that in. Let us continue. Get the masonry yard. Stones of all shapes and sizes are taught here to fit in and avoid standing out. Cute. Grab the blessing. That will give me 10 rather than 5. And then let's just spend that. Yeah, so I can lock the hill, which is already done. And in return, I get to draw you. Let's me scry. Good. That's what we wanted. Redraw hand. Play that there. Silkweaver's hut. Okay, last option we have not already seen. Or we get a choice 1 or 2 relics. We got the silk loop. The other option here is the silk spool. First time you restore inspiration during a stage, draw a glyph. But let's ask the weaver why they weave this way. The weaver pauses. Because it feels like me, they say. And I want to make something that feels like me and still holds. They offer a small piece of thread. It's strong, even if it's soft. The silk card. Craft and connection, gain 5 beauty, satisfy all 3. Well, at least we already have gotten more connection cards than we did the entirety of last run. Gain yield, gain yield, gain yield, and discard draw. Cool. Iwakura, rock seat, after its stone quarry. Yeah, nothing useful here. I immediately want to start removing stuff. Let's reroll. See if we can get something better. We cannot. Ow. Gold, tree, life. Why would I ever want to add life to the deck? Let's just start removing cards already. So, what do you reckon? Some of this stuff. A lot of connection is, of course, useful. Let's just remove stone. Now, adventure and safety. Scrubland, mountains. Plains and scrubland here. I do want someone that actually has adventure. You're not really giving me those options. I guess mountains, just... yeah, not making the most of the full corner here, but that's okay. Mountain and scrubland. Ember Monastery and Rope Skyways both have an event on them. I guess let's head down this way. I'll just slot you in there. Might as well grab the blessing, I'm thinking. Swim. And then you can go in there. And we continue past that. Flying baskets. Yep, and the children have co-opted the flying baskets. How do we handle this? We can restore inspiration by giving them responsibilities. We can build additional baskets using productivity, or allow the children to continue. Let's allow them to continue. The settlers decide that the ropeways belong to all of the village, not just the farmers. The children delight in their freedom, racing across the valley like birds in their flying baskets. One child in particular becomes highly skilled at maintaining the ropes and pulleys, having spent so much time fiddling with them. Good outcome, a little bit of productivity. And you'd want to try to go for the thatching yard? Yeah, I guess we will. That's the most yield out of all of this, so mulching shed. Fertility is restored here by embracing the art of managed decay. You just fill one. And then, yep. You go there. Thatching yard. Drawer will keep out rain, wind, and prying eyes, but rarely mice. Mice go where they please. Bit more yield. Let you build yourself up. Kakehashi, cliff path, after its winding path. Okay, protect or river. Discard 3, draw 2. Like, if that's the last card we have, it is essentially just a draw 2, which is nice. Also just a nice pair of, like, attributes. A bit more spirit would also be useful, though. Ability to gain safety. We'll take protect for the moment. Adventure and beauty. Mountain and forest down here. Sure. Or I can even go right over here. Yeah, down in the corner. Yep. Smolden Crater Amber Monastery will take care of all the yield. Foraging Glade has an event on it. So we are looking mostly for life in here to actually progress forward. Let's just get this done. I don't need stability. Just spend you. Life there. Yep. Anything else we want to use any of this for? No, we really don't need all the stability we drew. So I'll just use you for a bit of safety. And use you to discard draw. Oh, another life, that's nice. Foraging Glade, get the event, little blue figures. Let's see what this last option is. Let's ban the mushrooms. The healers insist that the mushrooms are dangerous. Who knows what these spirits might make people do? After some deliberation, the town council assents, and consumption of these mushrooms is declared banned, punishable by exile. Or forbid. Okay, can use the invocation to lock something, but otherwise it's just change in stability. And yep, don't have a use for either of those. Redraw. Okay. You will get the Ember Monastery in. That is our yield completed. I want to go for the Eternal Glade already. Cannot quite. Not the current set of things. That's fine. I'll leave, yep, all the unique ones. I'll just gain the rest of this yield. Especially the Satisfy. Oh, the Satisfy does apply even if you're over. I thought it didn't, but no, we got... Actually, no, I don't think that did. If I check the discards, yeah, that was just a bit of beauty going into there. The Satisfy part of the invocation did not do anything. Gomadan, Ritual Fire Altar, after the Ember Monastery. Let's get another removal. See... These basic ones, still quite short on Advanced Essence. I guess we'll just get rid of Rest as well. So we have the most stability. And let's advance up this way. Oh, the Mudslide. Yep. Build the causeway to get safety. Or clear the pathway for less safety. Can't build the causeways. Let's do clear the path. A fork in the road. One path looks smooth, well trodden by animals, goes all the way around the hill. The other is a steep covered with loose stones, but much more direct. Mineral or animal? Mineral or animal? Let's take an animal. Select the glyph. Ooh, fox. Fox is good. Yeah, I knew there were some rare animals. I don't know if I can think of any rare mineral cards. We're definitely taking you, friend. The Monk of Emptiness. Take the flute glyph, or we take the nothing glyph. We like the nothing glyph. Very happy to add that to the deck. Okay, stream crossing. Has safety loss, scout for narrow point, gain productivity, wade through. Take the chance for the safety loss. Right, what will the adapt? That'll give me one of connection craft. I think I like the adapt here. Let's just use Fox to adapt in. Okay, that gets me stuff to help make the makeshift bridge. Excellent. You know what? Let's actually just draw you two. What else we get? Okay. More craft stuff anyway. Yeah, use you there. Gain the productivity. Continue forward. Hapless Carter. Carry the cart across to restore inspiration. Get the cart wheel. Take the settler along instead. You know what? I'm just going to expand. We're going to gain the bit of productivity yield here. And then we are just going to redraw and try to get a connection to see what this does. Wonderful. Take the settler along, please. It's waste to leave all these supplies behind. That cart was never going to fit over the bridge. The settler decides to let it go and join the survey team. At least they'll always have someone around to help. Lose productivity, gain harmony. The odd rock. I can finally do something other than just mark it. Dig that thing up. Scouts start digging and discover the boulder is the tip of an ancient building. They clear enough of the earth to find several relics to carry back to the scholars and record the site for future excavations. Choose from a pool of relics. Relic is very nice. Okay, all new ones too. Mirror Ink. The first time you slot a glyph with an invocation, its invocation is also cast. That is powerful. Something you need to be aware of and will really make you think about your sequencing and what you're doing. Ink Bloom, an uncommon one. First time you cast Spread, cast it again. Yeah, Spread duplicates a glyph in your hand that matches the essence type it specifies. I don't think we have any Spread cards. But that, double invocation is very nice. And the Leaky Ink Stick. Increase your hand size by 2, and after you play 4 glyphs, discard the rest. Yeah, don't think I like that. If you have a bunch of redraws, that could be nice, but we only have the 2, so I think that'll just make you weaker. Let's take the Mirror Ink. First time I slot a glyph and invocation, its invocation is also cast. Ooh. Yeah, I need to remember that. Some stuff like Lock is just going to be real nasty on that. That's not a good one to combine it with, even though we have a couple of Lock cards. Yes, productivity, safety. Look at all these. Yeah, your beauty, harmony. Opposite of safety, minus safety, adventure and beauty. You add a little bit of safety. Mostly, again, beauty and harmony. Hill, scrubland, wasteland. Wasteland, scrubland? Sure, wasteland, scrubland. New haunting, too. The Hosogami. Anytime we slot a glyph anywhere, we get disease. Makes us lose. Yeah, lose safety. Settlers whisper that a crimson spirit walks among them, marking the sick with its red touch. I reckon we do probably just want to pacify you pretty instantly. That's the only life one we have, so let's just use that. Oh. Of course, I completely forgot about that. What do we even do? Oh, we blessed. Adventure. Sure. Yeah, because that's even going to apply on stuff like sticking cards into hauntings. Ooh. There's some cards that's going to be real powerful on. Or something with split. Oh, wow. Yeah, you could play a split card and then get a bunch of extra cards. Ooh. That's nice. Yeah, that would be really nice. Anyway, we're probably going thatching yard down here for the safety. Yeah, I think so. Over here, salt flat into iron wreck, probably? Yeah, salt flat into iron wreck. Path we're going. We should have plenty of different cards to accomplish all this. The Salt Sisters, we've seen this one. Salt Village Elder, we get some harmony. So, the Elder, Akiko, works without complaint, returns home. Younger Haruko often leaves the bucket half filled. She's the one who talks to the merchants. Let's say Akiko is right, talking to the merchants. Akiko lays down her buckets and refuses to return to the flats until Haruko agrees to work beside her. Oh, no, wrong way round. Damn. Yeah, even on market days, buckets remain empty for a time. Yes, no. Akiko wants Haruko to leave the flats to come join the market. Yeah, worked out kind of the opposite way I was hoping it would. I was hoping that this would give us productivity at the cost of something else, but it's the other way around. Yep, last, Haruko rolls up her sleeves, joins in the work. She proves herself to be industrious, soon bring back more salt than most of the settlers. Akiko's anger suffer. Yeah, merchants find no familiar face to greet them, and some merchants start leaving without even stopping. Lose productivity. Annoying. Definitely need to go to the iron rack now. I mean, I could just go... like, use you for the safety, and then just go productivity over on this side. That might be the way to handle things. Yeah. Do that. You go here, iron wreck. You go here, mulching shed. You go here into the indigo shrub patch. Okay, we can only do one of these. Iron wreck will get us the full extent. With the, because we're using the continue. Good chance to draw into something. Let's just use you to get that done. Cool. See if we draw anything interesting off the back of that. Sure. Discard both of you. Not going to use them. Make use of you. Then discard one, draw one, please. Draw another. There we go. Okay, we do get the indigo shrub patch as well. Even some more safety. Tetsugareno, Withered Iron Field, after its iron wreck. Yep, bunch of bad cards. We're thinning the deck a little bit further. I reckon get rid of one of the basic spirits, maybe? I do have nothing, which helps me draw spirit. Yeah, I don't want to overburn stuff too far. Let's get rid of divination. Adventure, food, and productivity. Mountain, scrubland. Yeah, three-way split where we only have two sites is a bit tricky always. Mountain and forest? Yeah, forest is not going to readily give us productivity alongside anything else. Scrubland, seashore. Seashore could maybe handle some of this. Steppe and seashore. We need food on the thing that's not the hill. Not the sea. If I get hill and seashore, but I don't think we can. It's just going to be hill and scrubland. Let's go the mountain and scrubland over here. Okay, and you have locked the scrubland. Smoldering Crater will get adventure. Snowcap Peaks will get food. Okay, Snowcap Peaks into Ice Caves is 2. And then we just need to get productivity off this. We'll use you here. Yep, and then the invocation triggers, which gains me a bunch of all the yields. So you are Snowcat Peaks. Yep. Use you. Ice Caves. And then Mulberry Patch into something else would be good for the event, while also getting me some of this good progress. Yeah, safe option is just go Mulching Shed now, but we will redraw and risk going for the Mulberry Patch. Draw off nothing, of course. Yep, use you here. Multi-purpose mulberries. Mulberry harvest shared between humans who collect berries, silkworms who feast on the leaves. So how do we balance this? We can get some food and productivity for leaving the bushes with the best berries unplucked. Flexibility, wait for the berry harvest before plucking the leaves. I mean, if this is get food and productivity, this is get food, lose productivity. Like, favoring the silkworms is going to be gain productivity, lose food. So what is the stability option? Let's wait before plucking the leaves. The settlers forbid... Oh, okay, bad option. Minus productivity and minus harmony. Settlers forbid harvesting until the berries are ripe. Once the berries are gathered, the silkworm carriers pluck the leaves. Unfortunately, the silkworms refuse these, unimpressed by the lack of freshness. Ow. Okay. Ooh, yeah, and we are gonna struggle here, gonna take a big old loss. You could adapt in the craft, maybe. Yeah, let's try it. We did. Silkweaver's Hut. Thank you, Fox. Outcome not as bad as it could have been. Let's get that blessing in to get the most out of these two cards. And end the foray. Yuki Kage. Snowshade after Snowcat Peaks. Maybe I shouldn't have used those, because now we've got another safety yield settlement. So, Koto. Yeah, it lets me conjure Song and 2 Tears. Die. Lets me get Beauty, another Change, and another Craft. And I'm not particularly liking a lot of the cards we're pulling. Let's just keep narrowing down the deck slightly. Expand, conjure, get rid of wind. Yeah, you can see almost all of our settlements produce safety. Just because, like, of the invocations, I need to be more careful about that. Food and harmony. Forest and plains down here. Sure, forest and plains down here. Yeah, so the Endless Blossoms is good for harmony, and Foraging Glade is good for food, also good for harmony. Yeah, a couple of ways we can approach this. I don't think... If I want to go down to the Endless Blossoms, we're going to need to use the connection. Thinking we might try and head down the Eternal Glade, in which case I might want to do Apiary over here, which will also need the connection. Right, let's draw some stuff too. Any more options. And now, okay, what do I want to... The first card I play is going to use its invocation. Fruit. I wouldn't mind using the invocation on fruit, honestly. Cool. Yep. Good. Now you can be the buckwheat field. Is going to be either of these. Yeah, stick you there. And now you go... I think cards here. I probably want to use Fox for that location in there. So we'll use Bird here. Wildlife Sanctuary. Get the Eternal Glade in. Use you there. We're definitely not gaining a full thing of safety off this. We should not. So I think it should be safe enough to use you to gain 5. Redraw the hand. Okay, continue. Get the Eternal Glade in. Yep, that's 1 consecrated. And then the apiary here. Get that done. Cool. And the foray. Subano, buckwheat field. Okay, and you're prioritizing your harmony over your food yield. Memorize. Recycle 1, add no to the top. Honestly, maybe just take ask. Even more connection will be of radiance. Sure. Now up to the convergence. So probably want someone that produces harmony. Looking at the shortages here. Seashore is beauty. Mountains is harmony. Yeah, I think a mountain capital here. Mountains up on this side rather than over here. Yeah, do these mountains. I think these mountains will be a bit less useful to us. Okay. So you produce harmony. I mean, you can grab either of these little settlements, just where this connection. It is good. And now, one of the things we unlocked on last upgrade was this little interface here. This lets me, if I produce a sufficient quantity of a resource, I can stick the appropriate essence in here to make the capital produce that. Yeah, the cutoff point, it looks like, is 60 at this point. So I could, for example, make us produce food by, running any particular life essence into there. Makes us produce productivity, sticking in there. Unfortunately, we are, of course, short on the important ones, because that's why we're short on them. So we cannot get knowledge or adventure, which are the two I would have most liked to get. Now, Gomadon, we can also get. That will just give us, no particular diversification. What other options do we have? Yeah, I can't use this over here. Could use Fox to reach the adventure threshold? I think you might be. Slightly behind me at the moment, slightly Fox Max, because as far as I'm aware, there is no... Oh, yes, on here, right, to get adventure in. That is clever and correct. Yes. Oh, I like that. Yes, that would get me over. And then I could use you to slot in there. That will give me adventure, which will let me connect up here. Can't make use of your output, but long term, that is probably a good and appropriate thing to do. Yeah, I like that. You even get me a connection off the adapt. That's nice. Not guaranteed. That is perfect. Yeah, thank you for the recommendation there. That was a good call. Yep. Hook that up. Now, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Sure, I'll get the extra resource in just now, since I went to the effort of getting that set up. Gain some safety off the back of this. Probably just use you in here to craft connection. Maybe even in the spirit. We're not going to pull another spirit glyph, though. Yeah, so I do just need to connect that in. Nowhere to make use of make. So you just live there, and we redraw. Okay. One connection in here, which we will use to fulfill this shortage. 3 more shortages. We can get you in and you in. Draw 1 and store. Unlikely to draw anything particularly important, though. I mean, yeah, nothing is not going to draw me 2 cards even, because there's no more Spirit Essence left. Yeah, I could use this connection to just get me the beauty. And like, what am I going to do with that beauty? I think we'll just connect up one of these for future use. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I mean, we'll get food in by connecting this place in. Yep. Why is your need fulfilled? I am not certain why that fulfilled that need. Huh. Well, no use worrying about it. Yep, you need connection stuff there. Not doing. You need life stuff, which we are also not doing. Means we're just slotting you in there, and gain a tiny bit of yield off the back of that. And a convergence. Select a relic. Okay. We've not been pulling good glyphs. Reed case is pretty tempting. Yeah, take the reed case. Salvage a glyph, which we want to remove. Maybe just join. Continue is often useful, but is getting quite weak as just a 1 essence card. Other options like rice paddy. Let's just take... Let's get rid of fruit. Fruit is not exceptional. I'll just hope I draw some more good basic essences. Ooh, high adventure, 36. Okay. Fortunately, not getting the Seashore Ghost Lanterns adventure. Not to tackle that. Mountains and forest. Wasteland. There's a large building in here. Seashore and large building. Try to go for the Adventurers Guild and the Ghost Lanterns. And the obvious easy one is like up here. River, mountain, forest. They'll tackle all of that. But let's be a bit cheeky. Let's do large building, seashore. Try and get both these. What are you? Okay. Yeah. When any development activating this site, add blind to your hand. Needs radiance to get rid of you. You know, you're not tied to any location either. Yeah. Slot glyph with invocation. We'll just draw off the back of that. Ooh, still no radiance. And then blind is... Oh, blind is fine. We do not need more safety. In fact, we probably need less safety. I am fine. I do not need to deal with this haunting. Common dining hall. Gain safety. No, thank you. I do not need that. Ghost lanterns. Oh, I probably should replan this, shouldn't I? We do not have the stability we need to really kick off anything. I wanted to slot something else at least. I mean, that's another stability. You also spread stability? Ew. Ew. Yeah, we really need more radiance too. Honestly, just the adaptation, that'll get me craft or radiance here as well as some adventure. Yeah, we'll just use Fox. There's some radiance, that's nice. And I guess we'll just use that here, that'll spread protect. And yep, tide marker, get me further down into here. And then we'll use the stability off the back of this, get common dining hall. And the Adventurers Guild, all this nice stuff. Okay, what do we have? We have a continue, 2 connections, so I can use 1 connection to get in here. I want to bless adventure and make the adventure yield really just explode. Yes. Yes, I do. In which case, we're now sticking... Now, a bit out of spirit stuff, too. Need to remember. You live there. We can just use the continue to make certain the ghost lantern thing actually happens. Consecrate the ghost lantern. Just saw this one. And I guess you can be a mulberry patch. Yep. And now the curse repeatedly applies, like halved safety yield, opposite of the blessing. But we do not care about that at all. Yeah, the Noparabo is a really, really low impact haunting. Which I like. Now, yeah, we're not going to get the Adventurers Guild out. Bit of a shame, there's an event tied to it. Wait. Something, you live there. Yeah. And nothing else is really happening. Small chance the fill works. Actually, guaranteed chance the fill works if we do that. We do get the Adventurers Guild. Huzzah. Guild is planning its own expedition to map the shard. In a couple of these options, actually one of these options, yeah, which gave a couple of rewards. Adventure gives dare and or perilous. Okay. Yeah, change spirit. Let's see what one of the other options do. Highlight the most fertile and inhabitable lands. The map blooms with green patches and golden marks. Places where the soil is rich, the winds are kind, and fresh water flows. Paths between them are carefully drawn. It may not tempt explorers, but settlers will follow this map like a promise. That is a pretty nice glyph, fertility. Change, life, spirit. Conjures life into your hand if you use it to gain food. Yep. That's good. And then... so we'll just use some of this yield. A little bit's always help. And foray. Tsukidoro. Moon lanterns. After us, ghost lanterns. Ooh. Now we're getting some good cards. B. Yeah. So I can use it to spread life and add honey to the top of the deck, and itself is life, connection, and spirit. I'll take that, just as a combination of essences. High knowledge. 45. Still need to do the endless blossoms at some point. Must remember to do that. Mountain, scrubland, wasteland. Yeah. Ooh, new haunting as well. Okay, adds a Scorch glyph to the top of the draw stack when a glyph is cast. You can get rid of Scorch. It does despair if you don't. Curse is a bit lower effect. Especially as it only goes to the top of the deck rather than actually into your hand. Yeah, so we need connection and craft. Raiju. Settlers warn of beasts made of lightning that ride the storm clouds, striking the earth wherever a ritual is held. Yeah, Stormchase Camp, Stormwatch Citadel, or Iron Wreck into Endless Ruin. Ember Monastery, Dragon's Rest. Firewood Coppice is opposite where the knowledge is over here. Oh, I could bless knowledge too. I could bless knowledge and work towards pacifying you. I've done the craft though to actually finish that. Yeah, luck craft means that is gonna do a lot of scorching probably. So like change and radiance I want to leave space for. Might be a tad difficult to do. want to... I'm confident we'll survive the bit of damage we take off the back of this thing. Yep. So, Ember Monastery. Ember Monastery is a pretty good event. Probably want to work towards that if we can. Yeah, you'll conjure into the life if I need the life. Salt flats here. Yeah, let's just go Molten Crater. We'll grab salt flats as well, while we're at it. Let's do this side first. Yeah, use you there. Let us use you just for the life at the moment. With cast, I think the cast might only be on invocation, actually. That's not just slotting, is it? Okay, so this is a lot more manageable than I thought it was. Yeah, in which case we probably don't want to bother messing with this thing. We'll just slot you in there. Ember Monastery. Get this event. Paper Charm. Yep, can't get the other one. Paper Charm is nice. Take that. Then you can slot in somewhere, anywhere. Go on, just use you there in the salt flats. Use you here to make... Could go towards the Paper Mulberry Grove. And let's work towards the Dragon's Rest. Okay, that gets a Scorch, which we can just use to slot in somewhere momentarily. Storm Chaser Camp. Stormwatch Citadel. Iron Wreck. Let's use you here. Yep, Storm Chaser Camp. And if I wanted to get this done, we can slot you in there. Slot this in. That could spread life if I need life. I really think I need more life. Yep. So the knowledge well and truly covered. And... yeah, not gonna get to that event, eh? Not gonna. And targeting you is just going to hit that same point. Harmony, food. Let's grab a little of Harmony off the Bramble Hollow anyway, even if I can't push on further. We'll continue. Pacify you. And then gain 5 resources. And 4A. Moreno, Withered Field. After its Bramble Hollow. Bloom. Again, pretty nice. Adds more life, gets some more decent cards in the deck. Not another connection. Would I want to remove a glyph instead? Were to remove, it would probably be Rice Paddy that gets cut. Yeah, we'll take Bloom for the moment. Harmony, knowledge, food. Good time to try and go for the consecration, I think. Oh, there's the post-road event I was talking about, the landmarks. Unfortunately, that is going to be competing on the plains for the event we're aiming for. Plains, seashore, mountains. If we go down here, right, plains is going to be Harmony, and then the mountain is probably also going to end up Harmony. Yeah, maybe not on the mountain. Let's look over here instead and accomplish this. Okay, plains, knowledge, scrubland. Yep, down here, I think, for the settlement. And you are... okay. Need to add change or else you're going to, yeah, prevent the planes from doing stuff. Ooh. Poor initial draw. This might be the point where we replan. Yeah, let's make use of the replan. That looks a bit better. So, do I want to get rid of you before we start progressing? Maybe a bit wasteful. I'll just use my automatic pacify to simplify this. Yep, Sacred Grove into Endless Blossom is what we want to go with here. Bloom will conjure the life. So will Fertility if I just want to get one of these as the life. Which I think I probably do. Though you will also just give me another life if I slot you in immediately, eh? Aye. Go Bloom there. B, if I slot you in, will give me honey on top of the deck. Let's just go like so. Yep, and that gets me you. Yep, and we keep B for that. Harmony, Hollow Heart. Okay, lose beauty, gain the ancient bark. That has to be a bad outcome. We'll leave that alone for the moment. Gain more safety. Let's just gain some more harmony and safety. Prop up bamboo crutches. Okay, the Endless Blossoms there will handle that stuff. Let's look over here for the moment. So, food, knowledge. I can do pretty much whatever I want on the seashore, I think, because I'm just going to use fertility. Gain flower. Get me through the mulberry patch, gets me to the paper mulberry grove. We'll just slot. Running a bit low on spirit. We'll actually stick you in there for the moment. And trust will draw a life card. Get the Endless Blossoms locked in. Yep. Consecrate. Then just use you for the expand. Okay. Draw off that. Life. Into the paper mulberry. You have a couple of continues, which will handle the paper studio for me. Which, yep, I will just use. Excellent, all yields done. Now what do I want to do over on the seashore? So, have some stability, have some change, don't have any life. Don't have any radiance for down here. Do have a little bit of craft, the shipwright's yard. I'm thinking... Okay, so we can do you into the Bonded Rocks, into you and you, gets me the Driftwood Shawl, which is not going to let me progress any further here. But yeah, we'll just head down Driftwood Shawl. Like so, like so. Go down that way anyway. You'll draw something which we do not have access to. So let's just gain a little bit of beauty off the back of that. Pushizuna Hama, Star Sand Beach. Yes, and you're producing beauty. That is excellent. Don't think we had a source of beauty before. Mystery. Divine 2 adds reality to the top of the deck. Diluting the deck a little bit maybe, but more radiance would be very useful. Yeah, that is my only source of beauty at the moment, is that settlement. That is nice to grab. Let's just explore out this way. The tigers, once again. Get some safety. Yeah, cannot get the radiant section. I could just lose a bit of safety instead. We're not short on safety, I don't think. So we'll do that. Alright, what did I even... Expand one, that is nice. forget that that applies to surveys as well. Broken sandal. And we can gain the safety back. Oh yes. Gaining inspiration back. Gain inspiration back, please. Yes. Yep, take turns with the good sandals. Missing rations. So, settle for an apology, probably. Yeah, rather than any other options. Can't go for that one. Definitely not going for the ones that lose me inspiration. So you live there. Yeah, sure. Craft can sometimes be useful on these little expeditions. Ooh, still no stability. There's some. Heavy burden. Leaving the extra rations behind to drop our food yield. Splitting the load though, we can now choose the one with the prerequisite, so let's try that one. The surveyors decide to repack the load, splitting it evenly among the team. The burden is much lighter when split among many shoulders. More inspiration restored. Perfect. Dense bamboo. Yeah, all simple enough. Let's just cut a straight path. And some more productivity. Thieving wind. Let the papers go. Probably a bad outcome. I suppose following the wind, which will get me more knowledge. Knowledge is currently the one we're lowest on. I will be boringly safe and get some more knowledge. And let's gain a little bit more adventure. A little bit more productivity at the cost of beauty. Cool. Okay, harmony. Yeah, did all the harmony ones. Harmony and productivity. Lake is good. Lake is good. Also lake over here. What should we reckon? Lake, forest, plains. Or lake, forest, forest. Kadama will block the forest over here. Kadama blocks the forest over here. Yeah, let's do lake, forest, plains down here. Oh, different haunting if I go down there. Which one are you again? Nojakubi. Okay, yeah, block the plains. Plains is probably the least important one here, that's fine. Does have the post road. Yeah, has the landmark. So, we'll need to get rid of both of those, however, in order to progress forwards. Adapt is not going to get me anything, as I currently have all essences. Forest and Monastery for harmony. Or, yes, that'll cost me 10 harmony. I could gain 45 harmony by heading down here. Oh, I think maybe ferry crossing into floating market. Yeah, I do really want that post road. Satisfy all through that. Gain 10 adapt. If I play you out, yeah, I'm still not going to gain anything off the adapt. Blessing knowledge, not particularly useful. Really don't want to lock something. Yeah, it's tragic that I have like both my lock cards in my opening hand with the mirror ink. Post Road 5-5. I think we are possibly just going to end up a bit short here. Boat Festival will get me a lot of this. Really would. Wait, we're not getting any harmony down here. It's 20 points of total yield. Including not all of the productivity. That'll get me all the productivity and a little bit of harmony, but then we're not getting enough harmony out of this. Yeah, I'm pretty certain we're going to need to head down through the Lotus Pond. Get you. Get you there. Island Shrine, if we can. Yep, we'll go you over there. You over there. Unlock the site. Yeah. Keep pushing down in this direction. Get some harmony. Gain 6 points off this. You're almost only worth more slotted in. That slot. Redraw hand. Yep. Draw using you. Okay, okay. And then... let's see. It's like Woodcutter's Camp. Will essentially drop me down 5 points there. Probably still worthwhile tackling that. We have enough here, enough here. Yeah, you, Woodcutter's Cap. Get me the productivity. Now we go... yep, you in there. You in there for the boat festival. Oars splash, sails billow, and the air is thick with merriment, with the occasional panicked yell from an unsteady boat. And we will get enough harmony. Can we get the post road in though? Yes, with the continue we can. Oh, no. That card. Then this card. And yep, continue. Post road. The path stretches further than it did yesterday. Settlers began marking it with wooden stakes and bits of painted cloth. An inn is being planned. An enterprising settler sets up a stall accepting messages to be delivered. If we extend the road further, there's no telling who will come, one settler mutters. Now, from the demo, I know what to do here, and because I'm trying to progress the story, I'm going to go for that. The correct option to go here for our situation is 80 harmony, extend the road all the way to the capital. It'll be very embarrassing if I'm wrong about this. Nope, I was. There we go. The final stakes are driven in, the surface is leveled, signposts are set up. Several houses will soon be converted into inns for travellers. It's open, someone says. It begins now. So, the current settlement is connected to the capital, and we unlock the post road, which lets me connect other settlements using harmony outside of the convergence. Where paths meet, stories change course. Growth brings movement. Not all are ready for the footsteps it invites. Okay. Now I don't want to go to the lumberyard using you. Let's gain a little bit more safety. And the foray. Hanoshuku Flower Lodge after its pilgrim's rest. Oh, that's a split. It conjures to grief, but splitting is potentially quite useful. Do I want to... probably do just want to pull one of these basic cards out though. Let's just get rid of up. Now, see, over the settlement we have this little landmark. I don't particularly mind dropping down the amount of harmony we have available. Click here, you can see for 50 harmony, I can create a connection. Paved road stretches from the settlement and disappears into the horizon. Painted markers guide travellers between shaded milestones. Some say the wind moves faster here, bringing news to the capital before the feet that carry them. Each new connection redraws the map, pulling distant places into conversation. And let's cut through natural paths to establish some foundational travel routes. Okay, we connected Kakahashi, which is... which one? Ah yes, this one. Which does not presently have either of its yields met from this connection, but we can supply both of them from other settlements now. And we can only do this once per stage. We'll choose another foray and then we come back here, connect another settlement. Yeah. And this will really help us stay on top of things. Safety, adventure, and food. Safety, adventure, and food. Small buildings, good for food and stuff. First arena, that's another landmark. I'll be a bit short on adventure down there, though. Forest would be the adventure. Small building. Desert, scrubland. Yeah, scrubland is not a particularly good set for what we're looking at here. River could handle the adventure, forest the food, mountain isn't going to cover the safety though. We do have other cards that can maybe make up for that. Well, let's think about something in here. We also get the kappa. What does the kappa do? Whenever a non-goal yield is gained in this site, yep, and the kappa is in the river, judging by the description, we lose half of the non-goal gain. I'm content with that. Kappa seem friendly enough. Hey, little guy. Settlers blame the mischievous kappa for dragging their goods and children into the river. Well, they are unimportant children because they are non-goal. So I am content to live with this current situation. So there'll be some adventure. Or some food from here. Well, food is definitely coming from the forest. I'm looking like some adventure and some security over here. That'll be... And check what you can give. You can give me the safety, which would be nice if I go for the event here. This event will handle the safety, meaning we're just looking at adventure off these. So, yep. Yeah, I can even get the blessing here. Sure. Yep. Gain the safety and the harmony. Cool, cool, cool. Now the dock over here. Well, I can gain some more adventure off this while adapting stability or radiance into my hand. Stability or radiance. Stability or radiance. I can make use of that. Let's use Fox. Get some more adventure. Okay, radiance. Now we're going over here. Bloom goes into that dock slot. Make goes onto the raft builder. You go onto the river shipwright. Cool. Now you go onto the foraging glade. You go onto the fruit grove. And we redraw. Cool. Draw some more stuff here. Cool, cool, cool. Do I want to get rid of the kappa so I can gain some more resources out of this? Let's look on the other sides first. Yeah, we'll just use you there. Gain the rest of the food and the fruit grove. Ember Monastery, lava-fed forges, natural hot springs. Let's see what this Phil reckons wants to go for. Lava-fed forges. That was the one we could not do. Thank you very much, Phil, for being as useful as you always are. This is another way of saying, not very. You are not very useful, oh Phil. So let's go natural hot springs. Something a little bit different. Kappa gets to hang around and stay since I don't have the stability to get rid of him now. Guess we'll gain a little bit more safety. Yeah, 120. Cool. N4A. Yuya, Hot Spring Valley, after its natural hot springs. Desk, yep, we've seen this one before, and that is a selection of glyph of essences I am short on. Sleep. So sleep conjures rest, and adds dream to the top. Huh. Yeah, good for inspiration healing. Let's just add desk for the moment. Now, head back down to the post road, use the post road, create a connection. Connected Tetsugareno, which is this one. Yeah, as you see, it does not have any shortages at the moment. Whatever its shortages were, they are covered by the new connection to the capital. So, adventure, productivity, beauty. Adventure, productivity, beauty. So swamp will get me adventure. Lake will get me beauty. Forest will get me productivity. Or maybe lake will get me productivity because the forest will sap beauty. Regardless, this should be good. We're up to 2 hauntings at the moment. Okay, so you, whenever you discard, you lose 10 food. That's easy to avoid. Okay, lose... Yep, safety, that is also fine. Yeah, gifts... Yeah, Kasukuri... Right, we're not discarding anything, so you were doing absolutely nothing. The expedition is haunted by Kasukurai, little glutton said to creep in after meals to devour anything left behind. Hosogami will, like, cut down on our safety a bit, but that's alright, we have a big buffer. He's not getting through all of that. So, Murky Trail into Glowing Lantern Path, Peat Bog, maybe productivity here. We'll cut a little bit into our beauty if we want the full amount. A Verdant Labyrinth would be very good here. Oh yeah, yeah, Lake is excellent for combination beauty productivity. Hembretting Station, Indigo Fermentation Beds, Master Dyer's Workshop. Yeah. Oh, very good. Slot you, that continue is not actually going to accomplish much, is it? So what do I want to slot first? Your beauty, productivity is covered. Meaning you probably are, yeah, Murky Trail here. Bloom or fertility. Very much for muchness. Do I want food? Do I want beauty? Let's get beauty. That's what we're working towards. Murky Trail. Yep. You're doing your annoying stuff. And then the Foraging Glade here. Do I want to just kind of try and get rid of you too? So you're not filling up my card with too many diseases. Let's just ignore him. Foraging Glade there. Wildlife Sanctuary. Go for the Glowing Lantern Path with fertility. Yes, we can get the craft and a couple of stability here to get to the Sunken Fortress for the rest of the adventure. Which I think I quite like. Probably do want to start this too though, so let's just get the Hembretting Station in. And then Indigo Fermentation Beds. And then you can go... Meeny, miny, mo. Left, right. Right. Lose a bunch of safety. That is okay. You can work towards maybe one day getting rid of him. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Thank you, Hosogami. You are doing horrible work, and are very good at it. I could just use Silk to, like, gain a bunch of the yield we need. I'm not gonna readily get any more craft if I do that. You kind of need the craft over here, I think, so let's just go like so. Yeah, stick you in there. You in there. Master Dyer's Workshop. The traditional indigo is joined here by crimson, safflower, and dyes of every shade. Then I can go get rid of that little bugger. Might as well. Yep. Slot you in there. Continue. Cool. Sunken Fortress done. And don't think I really have much to do with you. Might as well conjure. Stick you on that guy. And foray. So my die well, after its Master Dyer's Workshop. Another connection. Now let's add another connection rather than strip out a card. After the convergence, I don't think... Yep, that's up to 200 now, so we can't afford to use the post road again. Let's start. Okay. Draw some. Yeah, and so the first card we're going to slot is going to use its effect. Are there any of these that seem particularly useful? I mean, I can use you to gain another card, another life. Since if I want to do that... Sure. Extra cards are useful. Yeah. Now, 4 places I can connect in. So at moment, places that are already connected need knowledge and beauty. Really want to make sure I get that handled. And you're a beauty place. Let us lock you in. Excellent. You are our knowledge place. Let us lock you in. Excellent. And I think, yes, we have every single thing being produced in the Shard Capital now. So let's just get more places cooked up. Connected. Connected. And would you look at that? Only 1 place left to connect. Still on the first hand. I can, in fact, get this sorted out. Like so. Boom. Everything connected. Perfect. You can see that places connected by the post road don't actually draw the little paths to the Shard Capital. Which, you know, it's a bit different, but I don't think I mind that. It's like nice seeing the roads thread around between the settlements, but it's also nice having some areas like not of that, look a little bit more rural, but you don't get punished for it. And I need to fill one of those 3 slots, I guess. Redraw the hand. See, we can gain some yield. Few of these cards. That's something. Yeah, noon. Now you can be in here. Continue. Oh, and that gets chat, which is a pretty decent card. Gain me 10 more harmony. And let's end the convergence. Everything met. All shortages fulfilled. And I do think it doesn't really matter because we're probably going to be finishing up after this to go progress the story some. What's going to give us a whole lot of things we don't really have a large amount of. Big range of different little pieces. B is quite complex. Protect is also... Yeah, Protect's real complex. Let's grab that one, divide that into all of its strokes, and continue. All the preparations are completed. We shall begin the reunification ritual as soon as we are ready to finish the expedition. Excellent. I think we probably are ready to finish straight away. Leave this place to continue on its own path. Now, I don't think there's any shard culture. Yeah. Nasukusa no Kuni. Summergrass Province. New relic, few new developments. New events and stuff, of course, we're still aiming for those. Bunch of new hauntings. Bunch of new glyphs, too. Let's return to the Haven.
We studied the winds and commanded the spirits. We tapped the hidden powers to force the world whole. But the land trembled beneath our spells, and the spirits turned away. Our force only carved deeper wounds into the land. In defeat, we found humility. We saw at last that force without respect only deepens the rift. Once more we look to you, O Enlightened One, to guide us, to plead our case before the restless earth and beg its forgiveness.
Here you've called a General Assembly tomorrow. They were forecasting pretty heavily that the scribe here was incorrect, his plan was not going to work. That's what's happened. Have you found something new? Indeed. I've had a revelation. We know that the Enlightened One has not abandoned us. The fault must lie in our actions. The hauntings are not what they seem. That would explain why no one can ever agree on the details. That is because we were so quick to pacify them. We should have observed instead. You have seen as well as I that the spirits never take everything from us. They merely limit our greed, enforce a balance. They would probably take all they can if we let them. Only if we deserved it. This justice. It can only come from one source. When the old world shattered, the Enlightened One's divine spirit must have fractured. Perhaps the hauntings are corrupted spirit shards, the divine sorrow manifesting. Well, that's a grim thought. Not only are we alone, but our Saviour is corrupted and trying to fight us. I'm not sure I'm quite ready to give up hope just yet. You misunderstand. The hauntings are not the only fragments. The Enlightened One is all around us. In rushing rivers and ancient trees, in shifting gales and wild beasts. Let's say you're right. What you propose we do about it? Have you noticed how birds always sing exactly at dawn? How cicadas always emerge in 13-year cycles? These regularities are how the Enlightened One is communicating with us. If we just listen, we'll hear the divine will through the voice of nature. New quest, Nature's Advice. Find a place where the voice of nature can be heard. Find a place where the wisdom of nature can be read. Yep, and at this point, we are past the end of the demo. I played to the end of the demo, and that was kind of not including that last little cutscene we had. We did the little convergence, then it popped up, hey, this is the end, no more from here. So all the story from here out, all the quests, completely new. And we have very little guidance about what this means. Like, 2 particular developments maybe? 2 particular examples from a set of developments? Can be heard, can be read. I mean, the canyon maybe for being read. So we know there's the natural writing that can appear there. Now, the Way of Tea and the Migratory Circuit continue to advance. This appreciation for the worn and the well-loved has seeped into the broader culture. Instead of delicate lacquered porcelain, folks prefer unique, if imperfect, vessels that carry the maker's personal touch. Artisans here rarely polish out the marks of their tools. It is said that a proper tea house is known by the lumps in its cushions and the scratches on its floorboards. And the Migratory Circuit. Not long after the founding expedition ended, the inhabitants of Sunabokori Iwa established a new custom. During the windy season, they would journey to the green, safe towns like Kogage Mura, then return after the worst of the dust storms had passed. To survive this journey, these people have turned road building into an art. These are no mere dirt tracks, but paved, lantern-lit highways engineered to withstand centuries of abuse. During migration seasons, the road becomes a moving city in itself, teeming with carts, caravans, and camps. You know, I scrolled down and never checked. Okay, we don't have another pink shard culture showing up down the bottom. So the current quest isn't going to give me a shard culture. What did our story characters have to say? Love an excuse for getting lost in the wilderness. I need to go out exploring, explorer. History is made by humans. Much to learn from nature as well. My predecessors refused to listen. I will not repeat their mistakes. I think this is probably about where we're going to finish up for the day. First of all, we have a bunch of new skills unlocked. So let's go through the options and handle our little meta progression. So more max inspiration. Probably worth getting some more inspiration. Restore 1 point of inspiration after each foray. A little bit of passive regen. Yeah. our third replan. Ooh, more rarity. Increases the rarity tier of glyph rewards by a further 10%. That'll be very nice. Another landmark, the Stone of Remembrance, in town squares lets you use food to make glyphs innate. We haven't seen innate yet, but I did encounter in the demo. Innate means it's always in your starting hand, I believe. So, a second reroll on the rewards. And a third one. Oh, no, like 2 more. That's third and fourth even. Yeah, a bunch more rerolls on rewards. Another goal reroll. Allows settlements to overlap by up to 50% of their diameter. Well, that's nice for squeezing places into opportune locations. Or allows you to create a small building site once per expedition. I wonder if these are going to be like large building, maybe town square? I don't know what the branch would be though then. Like town squares are something you very rarely encounter. So maybe the other three like town square and then I don't know how you'd make a cliff, a canyon, or a lake though. Those are the other rare locations. Allows you to keep a glyph at the end of each expedition to take on your next expedition. Only glyphs added during the expedition are eligible. Yeah, so you can't just keep taking the same one, but that's fun. Unless you like grab a really powerful glyph to take it forwards. Okay, doubles amount of strokes salvaged when salvaging. Allows you to ward against a specific haunting. Oh yeah, just say, no, I never want to see you again, you annoy me. Just cancel out one haunting. Allows uncommon relics to appear as random starting relics. Huh, I didn't know they couldn't, I just thought we were a bit unlucky because they're kind of a minority of the pool and you only get a small selection. Oh, that could be nice. Survey preparation? I mean, haven't even done survey preparation yet. This is very low impact. You can like spend yield to get some slight alterations to how surveys work before a survey. So it's scouting, yeah, make survey explore even more area. So I think we're grabbing glyph mastery. Rare glyphs are more powerful glyphs, they're good to grab. Right, packing stuff in. More salvaging. Yeah, 450 to inscribe rare glyphs. I mean, that would be nice, but like that's expensive and getting a lot of small things is also useful. Kept glyph seems fun. That would be all of our progress, so if I want to grab that. Ability to create the small building also seems quite interesting. Let's grab packed in. That could potentially be useful. Like, if I grab that, I still have enough left over to get either survey preparation or max inspiration. Survey preparation is a mechanic I don't have yet. Let's just grab that. Oh. Yep. And that is everything handled. You'll see people wandering about, more and more people showing up here. One of the scribe would let me study under him. Copper tarnishes with time, and so does memory. You must polish both. Yeah, Ember Order again. The Enlightened One said, when there is no wood, the fire goes out. Everything's better with spring chrysanthemum thrown in. There's the cook. This guard. Did the Enlightened One need guarding like this? Place is slowly progressing, or making progress. Need to have a look like shard cultures to look at, because with no real guidance here, I reckon next year expeditions will be a lovely time to try and get some of the more obscure or difficult shard cultures tackled. But I do think that's probably a next time sort of situation. So, thank you very much for stopping by, folks that stopped by over the course of today. Thank you very much, any potential VOD watchers out there who made it through to the end. And I hope I will see you all next time. I should be back this next Sunday, same time, same place, continuing on with some more Worlds Upon the Wind. Worlds Against the Wind? Worlds Upon the Wind song. Upon. And yeah, I am quite looking forward to it. I'm very, very thoroughly enjoying this game. But until then, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.